Welcome to the Porter's Tailgate Show.
It's about that time.
Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red! Go Big Red!
If you're willing to accept the responsibility that you have to protect this team and this school and this town, and make no mistake about it, gentlemen, we are in the business of protecting this town.
I shut them down! Shut them down!
Coming up, you'll hear from RHS head coach Mark Lenhart, our athlete spotlight, and your Wolverine weekend reports.
Let's get rocking!
Wolverine football is just a half an hour away. Here are Wolverine analyst Scott Fuller and the voice of the Wolverines, Jared Anderson.
And a very good Friday night to you. Welcome to Douglas, Wyoming. We're on the campus of Douglas High School and all set for 3A football as the Riverton Wolverines have traveled about 2.5 hours here to Douglas, Wyoming. Glad to have you along. Jared Anderson and Scott Fuller with you. Our first chance to do a game from Douglas and the final regular season road trip of the year, Scott.
And we are keeping track. That's right. So we have 2 games after this one to wrap up conference play. Wolverines coming into this one here on the road, having taken much further road trips a couple of times in Evanston and Star Valley. A bit of a shorter bus trip. More importantly, Jared, coming off a huge win in Lander last week. Big victory in the keeper of the gold game. And I know you spoke with Coach Lenhart before the game, but you have to think, any coach would tell you, that's momentum that you want to capture and then propel onto this next road test.
Yeah, you'll hear from Coach Lenhart coming up here on the Porter's Tailgate Show, but he said basically they want to continue that momentum. They're feeling very good. They're confident right now, but he doesn't want to have a hangover against a very talented team like Douglas, as he expects Douglas to be hard-nosed, physical, and they've built quite the tradition of football here at Douglas High School, so they really like to get their crowd into the game, so trying his best to keep his kids in check throughout the night. This series has quite the history. It dates all the way back to 1926, the first meeting between these two teams. This is the 42nd meeting. RHS actually leads the series overall, but barely. 21-20 and 1 overall. In this building, on this field, if you will, the Wolverines trailed Douglas 7-11 and 1. That tie was in 1929, so got to go back quite a ways for that. Douglas, however, has won 10 matchups in a row with Riverton, so you got to go back a ways, got to go all the way back to 2012 to find the last time that Riverton has knocked off Douglas. So Riverton would love to change that. They're feeling good about themselves coming off of 2 wins in a row, but this Douglas team still ranked in the WyoPreps.com coaches and media poll at number 5 overall, and it's going to be a tough challenge tonight for Riverton High School, but feels like, and I think most Wolverine fans would agree, it feels like a different attitude, a different sort of confidence in this team after seeing those 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, you know you can do it, and that's part of rebuilding the culture, as Coach Lenhart is attempting to do, and part of that he's talked to us about, I'm sure is emphasized to his team as well, is learning how to win. When you get up, learning how to put teams away, and that starts back on Monday. You drive by the stadium this week, Jared, 8, 9 o'clock at night. You see this team still out there under the lights practicing, so they are, I would imagine, very prepped for every intricacy of this Bearcats team, and there's a lot to look out for. They have an offense that they like to spread. They can do a lot of different things with a senior cornerback, a quarterback, and big guys up front. It's going to be a night of winning the point of attack first and foremost. Once they can establish with that big offensive line some of the stuff they like to do with the blocking scheme, they're able to do a lot, and you want to keep that quarterback contained in the pocket. So a challenge for the defense. We've also seen some low-scoring games from these Douglas teams and uncommon opponents so far, some teams that we've yet to see. So Riverton obviously likes to put points up on the board, and our defense has given up some big plays, including last week in Lander. So something has to give, as they say here tonight.
It is senior night at Douglas High School. They'll finish the regular season with 2 on the road, including a Fremont County trip against Lander here very soon. Some of the seniors being recognized here well before this one, and I kind of like the strategy of recognizing the seniors so early before kickoff so you can get them re-warmed up again. You usually see this ceremony across the state, at least in my experience, real close to kickoff, which always takes a while and kind of deflates the atmosphere, but like that they're recognizing them so early. This is the Porter's Tailgate Show, thanks to Porter's Mountain View Supply in Riverton, making this possible. Coming up, we'll break down some of the details about these two teams. We'll dive into some stats, give you some players to watch. We'll also run down your Wolverine weekend, let you know what the other Riverton High School teams are up to in the busy fall activities weekend. Coach Mark Lenhart will have a conversation coming up, and we've got a great piece that no matter if you're a football fan or not, I guarantee you're going to like from our John Gabrielson coming up here on the Porter's Tailgate Show. Again, we're counting you down to kickoff. The Wolverines and the Douglas Bearcats about 23 minutes away. Come on back with us on the Porter's Tailgate Show. You're watching the Wolverines on county10.com, listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Mountain View Supply, your local experts in fire and water. We got everything you need for new installs to accessories, and don't forget our great selection of stoves, grills, and spas. We've been serving Wyoming for over 40 years, so you know you can trust us for quality products and expert service. Visit portersmbs.com or stop by our Riverton or Casper locations today. Porter's Mountain View Supply, located on 750 East Sunset Drive in Riverton.
The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency is a proud supporter of Riverton High School Wolverine athletics. We understand the importance of community, and we're excited to be a part of it. As your neighbor, we're here to help you with all your insurance needs. We offer auto, homeowners, renters, business, and life insurance. So stop in and say hi, or give us a call today. The Tyler Watson State Farm Agency will be here for you.
Make your home improvement projects a breeze with Sutherland's, your home improvement experts. Always the right products at the right price. For every project, every day. You can shop and pay online at Sutherlands.com, and we'll get it ready for easy in-store pickup. With the tools and the know-how, you can count on Sutherlands for any job. With over 30,000 items in stock, make your first stop at Sutherland's Home Improvement in Casper and Riverton.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws? Because in real life, you don't get a second chance.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM.
Welcome you back to the Porter's Tailgate Show, made possible by Porter's Mountain View Supply, Riverton, and Douglas football coming up here in just a few moments. And Scott was kind of thinking on the drive over here about playoff scenarios where Riverton may end up, and when, if they can officially clinch a playoff, we could relay that information on. And unofficially, because it's my brain, the consensus I came up with is if Riverton gets one more win in any of the next 3, they pretty much have secured a playoff spot. Even if Rollins or Lander were to win out, Riverton would have the tiebreaker against both of those teams having beaten them. So Riverton could hypothetically pick up a playoff spot if they were to win this game. Obviously, a tall task in front of them with the Douglas Bearcats, but I think a lot of fans just going into the season were very excited about the potential of let's just get to the playoffs. And now, with 3 games left in the regular season, the attitude's kind of shifted a lot. It's, at least for me and I think some other Wolverine fans, let's just see how far they can go with 3 games that they're expected to be competitive left in the regular season. And then all of a sudden, if you pick up 2 or even 3 wins in the last few weeks of the regular season, you're talking about hosting a playoff game, not to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah, now you want to get greedy a little bit and say, well, I mean, we can make the playoffs if we win one game. You win 2, and you might be able to host a playoff game, which obviously would be a tremendous accomplishment for the team and long deserved by hard-suffering Riverton Wolverine fans. Obviously, a great kudos to the coaching staff for that to happen. As you get to this point in the season as a staff, you will quietly start talking about that amongst yourselves, but you don't want the kids necessarily thinking past this next play, let alone this next game. So scouting alone and logistics, you want to start planning a little bit and kind of watching the scoreboard, but in no time can you take your eye off the ball, which is right here in Douglas tonight, because if you lose this game, it suddenly becomes pretty irrelevant. You got 2 games left to get the 1 win.
Douglas has quite the tradition of high school football. They have many state championships. Most recently, though, in 2010, they also won 2008 and 2009 under their head coach, currently Jay Rhodes, who won those 3 championships back to back to back. Jay is in his 18th season at the helm here at Douglas High School, and in all 18 years of coaching, 17 so far, has never had a losing season. His worst season was 6-4, which is an astounding stat. He's well respected across the state. Coach Lenhart has some comments about him coming up here during our interview that we had earlier. You'll hear that soon on the Porter's Tailgate Show. But Jay's been head coach of these Douglas Bearcats since 2006, 3 state championships, went undefeated in 2009 and 2010. As we look at these 2 teams, kind of like at this point in the season to compare common opponents, there's only been 1 common opponent between these 2. You'd think conference play that they'd have more, but the only common opponent so far is Powell. Douglas lost to Powell on September 15th, 47-7. Riverton saw Powell in a 0-week game, lost that one 42-24. So while the Riverton result looks a little bit better, that was a 0-week game, so a different circumstance there. Last time out, Riverton, of course, knocked off Lander in the Keeper of the Gold rivalry game, 50-21. Douglas lost to Buffalo 13-3. Buffalo and Douglas have had a bit of a rivalry, being so good over the last few years, and Buffalo ranks number 4 this week. Douglas ranks number 5, but that was a defensive slugfest there. When it comes to stats, team-wise, Douglas rushes for 125 yards per game so far this season. They throw it for 149 yards. They put up 21 points per ball game, but they do allow nearly 20 points per game at right now, 19.8. They also allow 135 yards rushing and 175 yards passing defensively. For the Wolverines, they average 107 yards rushing per game, a stat that Coach Lenhart would like to see improve a little bit, but they throw for 242 passing yards. So far, Riverton has scored 26 points per game, but they've allowed 37 points per game. Defensively, the Wolverines have allowed 214 rushing yards per game and allowed 159 passing yards per game. So Coach Lenhart wants to see things tightened up defensively a little bit and to get the running game going. Should be real interesting with Riverton's kind of high-powered offense that we've seen over the last couple of weeks against a really good Douglas defense.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier in the Porter's Tailgate Show, something has to give. The Wolverines can put up points. Douglas can do it as well, especially if they get that blocking up front the way they like it. Their senior quarterback, Trey Wren, 6 foot 166 listed. When he's in the right position, can be very dangerous, including running out of the pocket, out of a design run between the tackles. So there's a lot of exploitables that I saw in film earlier in the week watching Douglas. But if you let them get into where they want to be, if you let them get into a groove, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
Comparing the 2 quarterbacks we'll see tonight, Trey Wren averages about 149 passing yards per game, is 63 of 129 for the season, 6 touchdowns but 5 interceptions. Like Scott just said, Wren gets it done with his feet too, as ran for 65 yards per game this season and 4 rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, Riverton's Derek DeVries, kind of a similar quarterback, 95 of 142 passing, 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions for Derek. He averages 195 yards passing and also averages 36 yards per game rushing. Some of the targets offensively you'll hear for both of these quarterbacks. Trenton Pearson is the leading receiver so far this year, 49 receiving yards a game and 4 touchdowns. Nate Hallquist is quick after that with 35 receiving yards per game and 3 touchdowns. Riverton wide receiver-wise, Nick McIntosh catches the ball a lot, 123 receiving yards per game. He's got 8 touchdowns so far this year. Ty Sheets quickly follows him in the stat column, 74 receiving yards per game, 3 touchdowns. Sheets also is a speedster on those jet sweep type plays, gets it done running the football quite a bit, does have 1 rushing touchdown per game. Brody Wagner is the lead running back for the Douglas Bearcats. He rushes for 45 yards per game, does not have a touchdown on the ground, which I thought was interesting this season, but he does have a catch for a touchdown. Carter Archuleta is also as good as it gets in the state, especially defensively from his linebacker position, but Carter Archuleta is sort of the change of pace second running back, if you will, but he has quite a few statistics offensively and is the team leader on defense. Defensively for Riverton, Talon Tillman averages 8 tackles a game. He's got the most defensive statistics, 4 tackles for loss and a fumble recovery. Jackson Larson averages 7 tackles a game, has a pick this year. Caden Liebrecht has 2 recovered fumbles. Blake Gattenbein has 2 fumble recoveries, and both Aiden Sanchez and Nick McIntosh have an interception this year. So just some of the names to listen to on tonight's broadcast and keep an eye out for. Do know, unfortunately, for the Wolverines that Aiden Sanchez did not make the trip. He's very ill, so wishing Aiden and Aiden's family the best tonight. I'm sure they're watching along, but we'll miss Aiden Sanchez for sure. He was a key contributor, especially to those 2 wins. Coach Lenhart said next man up, they're going to see a lot more Ryan Cox, especially at defensive end. So there you go, a few names and a few stats to keep an eye on tonight. Coming up in just about a minute on the Porter's Tailgate Show, we will hear from the head coach of the Wolverines, Mark Lenhart. That's when we come back. You're watching the Wolverines on County10.com's YouTube page and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Looking for an upgrade to your vehicle? Wyoming 4x4 is the place to go for all your upgrade needs. From lift kits to bumpers, grill guards to bed liners, we've got everything you need to take your ride to the next level. We use top brands for our bumpers like Fab 4s, Ranch Hand, and Road and more. So get your vehicle ready and stop at Wyoming 4x4 or give Dan a call at 307-857-3175.
Redden, Kane & Associates, CPAs is your go-to source for tax, financial, and business solutions. Our experienced professionals are trusted and know the numbers. We're dedicated to providing personalized attention to each of our clients. Whether you're an individual or a business, we're here to help with all your accounting needs. Let us do the math for you. Stop in or visit rivertoncpa.com to learn more.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM. Back to the ball game. Here are Scott Fuller and Jared Anderson.
Welcome you back to Douglas High School, home of the Bearcats, where the Riverton Wolverines will finish up their road trip portion of their schedule in the regular season. This is the last road trip, and then they'll close it out with 2 home games. Get Buffalo at home next week and Worland on senior night in 2 weeks. Let's check your Wolverine weekend before we play the head coach, Mark Lenhart, here on the Porter's Tailgate Show. Get you a look at what some of the other Riverton High School teams are up to. Cross country ran this afternoon. They should just be completing their afternoon. They were running in Powell. Volleyball is hosting Green River tonight, so I imagine there's some folks maybe cruising over to that one at Wolverine Gym tonight. The varsity start time is set for 6 6 o'clock here in just a few moments. So good luck to the Lady Wolverine volleyball team. RHS volleyball's back home tomorrow, taking on Evanston. Varsity game time is 1 o'clock. Girls swimming hosts a triangular with Lander and Rollins. Actually, they have already hosted that. That was on Thursday. You can look for the results at yopreps.com. I'm sure they have them posted, and we'll get you some more girls swimming coverage as we get closer to the state championships now just 3 weeks away. Also, big shout out to the Riverton High School marching band. They are off to a competition in Cheyenne on Saturday. Hope they do well there, but that'll be a little tune-up for the state marching band competition, which is 1 week away in Casper. So good luck to the RHS marching band. See if I can get this queued up right, and we will send you over to an interview that I recorded just a few moments ago on the field with the head coach of the Riverton Wolverines, Mark Lenhart. Back on the Porter's Tailgate Show, chatting with Coach Mark Lenhart. Coach, last road trip of the regular season. How was the bus ride over?
Oh, it was awesome. You know, anytime we can get out of town and can play in a great environment like this against a good opponent, it's always exciting. So hopefully the guys are ready to go tonight, and we don't have any hangover from the game last week, and we can move on and understand that this is going to be a bigger challenge, and it's going to be a hostile environment and a fun game, a fun place to play, really.
Bigger challenge with Douglas, definitely, but it feels like this team is more confident than ever. Certainly, as from a fan perspective, I'm more confident in this team forever. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you'd have to ask the players. I think as coaches, we've always believed that they could do some really good things, but tonight they're going to have to fight fire with fire and play against a team that's hungry, to come out and continue to have their dominance over Riverton football like they have for the last 15 to 16 years. So we got to find a way to match their intensity, and we can't afford to get off to a slow start tonight.
I was going to say, it's worked out fine the last couple of times, but I imagine you want to see a better start to the first quarter.
Yeah, you start slow here, you're going to end up burying yourself a hole, and they play with a lot of confidence, and they get the crowd involved in the game, so it's
and appliances in Lander, Wyoming. We have an unbeatable selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, and dining room. Plus, we have the latest trends in home furnishings. Our mattresses are comfortable and affordable, and our appliances are built to last. Whether you're looking for a new TV, sofa, or refrigerator, we have the perfect finish, style, and function for your home. Visit us at 420 Main Street in Lander, or check out our website, landergambles.com. Today.
This guy was driving way over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a lot over the speed limit. Look at the damage. This guy was going a little over the speed limit. Look at the damage.
Myers Gambles is your one-stop shop for furniture, mattresses, and...
Well, it comes down to this.
Go Big Red! 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 Here we go! Here we go!
Friday Night Lights?
Now who's ready?
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Wolverine football is on the air.
We can still make the kickoff!
It's time for kickoff. From Wolverine Field, here are Wolverine analyst Scott Fuller and the voice of the Wolverines, Jared Anderson.
Not quite Wolverine Field, but we are at Douglas High School as we welcome you back into the Porter's Tailgate Show. Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller here. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff between the Wolverines and the Douglas Bearcats. Welcome those of you watching along with us on County10.com, County 10's YouTube channel, or County 10's Facebook page. Before this contest, had the opportunity to get some thoughts from John Gabrielson, longtime voice of the Wolverines, all about tonight's game and some important off-the-field circumstances.
Well, by now, I'm sure Jared has filled you in that Douglas has won 10 in a row, and the last few haven't really been close, to be honest, against the Wolverines. And just in case, it's the 42nd meeting between Douglas and Riverton. RHS leads by the slimmest of margins at 21-20 with one tie. Riverton doesn't have the best record in Douglas, as I imagine a lot of visiting teams don't, but the Wolverines are 7-11 with that lone tie happening in Bearcat Stadium way back in 1929. That game ended scoreless. So since that has been covered maybe twice now, what I'm going to talk about is football life away from the football field. They say that Wyoming is one small town with very long streets, and this story illustrates that. Lander plays Rollins tonight, and it's no secret that Rollins has struggled on the football field as of late. Their glory days were back in 2000 when they ran the table, winning the 3A state championship, largely on the speed of one Scott Muir. Now, he would tell you that it's due to great teammates, but anyone who talks about that era, they'll bring up his name. When I was broadcasting the Wolverines and Riverton went to Rollins, the big song that year was Who Let the Dogs Out. The Rollins game announcer played it every time the Outlaws scored. Well, the Dogs got out a lot that day thanks to Scott, to the tune of 55 points, and I still don't like that song very much. So whatever happened to that guy? And how did we get to talking about Lander, or even Rollins for that matter? Well, stay with me, I'll get there. Scott Muir graduated from Rollins High School. He played receiver at Black Hills State for 4 years. Later on, he graduated. He then moved back to Rollins to teach and coach. He got married, had a little girl, then moved again to Douglas, then fell ill a little over a year ago. The diagnosis was stage 4 kidney failure, and Scott needed a kidney transplant. It could have been an exhausting, hopeless search, but it wasn't. Thanks to his sister, Shauna Morgan started the donor process the second she knew her brother needed one. Now, we in Fremont County know the name Shauna Morgan as the Lander boys swimming coach, who has continued the Bruce Gresley legacy in the Lander pool, all the while putting her own stamp on that program. So with Shauna's help, Scott had the transplant August 21st, the first day of school. Both he and Shauna are recovering. In fact, Shauna's first day back was Monday, 4 days ago. Scott was to remain in Denver for a couple more weeks, but he's been released. He's back home in Douglas and hopefully back to work around Thanksgiving, which upon his return, he'll be coaching the Douglas boys swim team, coaching against his sister Shauna and the Lander boys swim team. Now, people have donated money, sick days, babysitting, meals, and a whole lot of good wishes and so much more. The Muir family credits their friends, neighbors, and family of this small town called Wyoming, and they are in awe of the generosity. Now, that wasn't such a long trip to involve all 4 teams that play tonight, Riverton, Douglas, Lander, and Rollins, but here's to more than football. Friends, family, and our Wyoming way. I'm John Gabrielson. Thanks for listening. Now back to the field with Jared Anderson and Scott Fuller.
Thank you to the great John Gabrielson for bringing us that great story, and certainly thoughts with both the Morgan and the Muir family. Awesome connections there all over the state of Wyoming. You hear great stories like that, but crazy to think that Scott and Shauna will be coaching against each other this winter as Douglas goes against Lander in the pool. We are just at 6 o'clock straight up here. KTUG Riverton is 105.1 Jack FM. We're also streaming live on County 10's YouTube channel and on County 10's Facebook page. If you're tuned in on the YouTube channel, drop us a comment, say hello, let us know where you're tuned in from, and we'll shout you out throughout the ball game. Appreciate you being on with us. I'm Jared Anderson alongside Scott Fuller, and week 6 of 3A football. Feels like you wait all summer, and it's such a long wait, and then you get to this point really quick once the football season starts, as we have turned the calendar now to October.
It flies by, those long days in August and early September in camp, and those first week of practice, and all of a sudden, you're approaching the home stretch of the season with playoff implications on the line for all these teams that we're going to be following, including Lander and Rollins tonight, and obviously the Riverton Wolverines right here in Douglas.
Bearcats 3-2 on the season, 1-1 in conference play. Riverton 3-5, 2-0 in conference play. Wolverines will be in their away white uniforms, trimmed in cardinal red with the black helmets and the R logo on the side. Douglas in their home blue uniforms, red helmets with the blue Douglas Bearcat paw print along the side. It's about 53 degrees as the sun is slowly sinking from Douglas High School. I got to tell you, a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be looking at the forecast, feeling the sunshine, but I know that's going to change just as soon as the sun drops tonight.
And we're inside too, Jared, so there's always that.
We're inside.
We do have the window open.
We do have a window open. Hopefully the camera angle coming through okay with the open window, but we're nice and cozy in here in our little press box spot, so much better than I thought we were getting ourselves into when we thought we were going to be broadcasting from outside. Trey Wren does the kickoff duties for Douglas. There's not much he doesn't do. He's also the punter, and he plays quarterback. Nick McIntosh and Ty Sheets are back deep to receive for the Wolverines. Riverton did win the kickoff and elects to take the ball first. I've seen Riverton, it feels like, win the coin toss just about every time this season.
I think that might be accurate, Jared. To the point where we asked Coach Lenhart a question about the coin toss.
Wren's end-over-ender will be fielded at the 13, taken by Sheets. Sheets has a couple of blockers in front and a nice return over the 30-yard line down about the 31. That's where the Wolverines will have the ball 1st and 10 on the first series of the game.
Going to be important for the Wolverines to do what they want to offensively early on. Carry over some of that offensive momentum. Wasn't perfect last Friday against Lander, but the Wolverines did do quite a bit of what they were looking to do on offense.
Derek DeVries stands in the shotgun to start play number 1. He's got a 2x2 set. Blake Gattenbein with him in the backfield. Actually, Talon Choman's in the backfield. Now he'll go out. A pass in the flat to Ty Sheets isn't going to go for much off to the left side. A yard, maybe 2 for Ty on the first completion of the game.
Wolverines, Coach Lenhart, infamous, and all the coaches around Wyoming know it, for stretching a defense side to side, forcing the front four of Douglas and that second level, the linebacker level, to think about all kinds of different things they can run to all different parts of the field.
2nd down and 8 as the Wolverines break the huddle. 3-man defensive front from the Douglas Bearcats, and there's only 3, but they are big up there. And watch Carter Archuleta, number 42, from his linebacker spot, too. DeVries wants to run off to the left side. Cox blocking in front of him, and DeVries has a whole lot of room. 1st down across midfield, all the way down to the 40-yard line. Big pickup from Derek DeVries on the ground.
There's a convoy there that DeVries had along that left side. And once Derek gets just a little bit of space in the open field, he is able to exploit that, give him one lane, just one vertical step up the field, and he can become really difficult to bring down in a hurry.
It's a 19, actually no more than that, a 24-yard run from Derek DeVries. Math is not my strong suit. DeVries out of the shotgun, has Caden Liebrecht in the backfield with him now. Liebrecht and Tillman in front blocking as DeVries going to run it again to the left side. DeVries has another 1st down. It looks like right near the sticks. Gain of 10. And Derek DeVries did so much on the ground against Lander, you almost wondered if you'd see it again right out of the gate. They're going to say he's just a couple inches short of the 1st down. Nope, they're going to wave him on now. First the down guy changed it to 2, but then the official said, nah, come on, let's go. Gives him the 1st down at the Douglas 33.
You don't want DeVries to be the entire offense, but it is a good sign when you can run with him twice and it results in 2 1st downs.
DeVries, misdirection in the backfield, fake the pitch, give it to Gattenbein. Gattenbein's got a healthy 1st down gain of 8. And you'll take that on 1st down anytime if you're the Wolverines. 3 nice plays on the ground in a row, 2 from DeVries, 1 from Gattenbein.
So that very first play of the drive, the Wolverines trying to throw into the flat, stretch the Douglas defense. That didn't work, but ever since then, with DeVries moving to his left, they've been able to to stretch that defense. And now that just opens up so many options. Counterplay there, back inside for a nice game.
Two receivers to either side. DeVries in the shotgun. Toman off of his right hip. DeVries just going to run with it again. Waits for a blocker, and he's got 3. It'll be another first down on a 2nd and 2, I believe. So DeVries has carried the football 3 times now for 46 yards, and the Wolverines pick up their 3rd first down.
Riverton, a bit of backfield by committee due to injuries over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've tried a couple of different solutions to that. DeVries is definitely an aspect of that. He's been less present in the run game with an ankle injury. Haven't seen that bothering him so far, but that was sustained in the first play of 0 week against Pal. And so far, forcing his will against this Douglas front on the ground.
Derek under center at this time. Fake the pitch, give it to Ty Sheets, who's met in the backfield, and then spun to the turf. Archuleta in there, and a couple other Douglas Bearcats making the stop, forcing the Wolverines backwards for the first time as Sheets loses a yard.
I'd say the second positive defensive play there for Douglas in the front. Wolverines have not thrown the ball once, and all of this is designed to bring that second level in closer to the line to try to help and run support a little bit, bring the safety in just a couple of steps. Be watching for that so you can throw that post to McIntosh, or another of the offensive weapons for the Wolverines.
I did get a minor correction on the Derek DeVries injury, which I'll explain in a minute. Got trips to the right side. DeVries under center will flare it out to Ty Sheets. Wanted a screen, it looked like, but Sheets was leveled in the backfield and going to lose another yard on the play. So going backwards are the Wolverines here all of a sudden. 2 plays for negative yards. I was told that DeVries injury was actually a mid-foot injury. I'd heard from a couple people it was a high ankle sprain, which is a ways away from the mid-foot, but now they're saying a mid-foot injury. Either way, it's great to see him back to nearing 100%.
Depending on where that is on the foot, feet are very complicated, obviously, but that I'll take. Usually a foot injury over an ankle, especially a sprain, anytime.
3 receivers to the right side of the formation. Derek in the shotgun, fades to throw, looks across the middle, has McIntosh, who's wrestled to the turf at the 10-yard line. And after 2 negative plays on a 3rd and 12, the Wolverines will find a first down. DeVries to Nick McIntosh for 14 yards.
So what makes this offense so difficult is, frankly, the offensive receiving weapons, Sheets and McIntosh, and Derek DeVries, who is an on-time quarterback, very efficient with his footwork in the pocket, makes smart decisions. You'll see him make one bad read a game about, and the rest is just stuff you have to respect. So if the Wolverines are running the ball as efficiently they have been on this opening drive, watch out for what DeVries is able to do with those weapons, Sheets and McIntosh, and a few others.
Coach Lenhart wants a timeout before the Wolverines are able to snap it, so they'll talk it over. We've seen him not shy, taking those timeouts as he needs to quickly in the game. Doesn't necessarily always save them for maybe a drive late, but taking one there at the 7:15 mark, first quarter on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. We are scoreless. First drive of the game, Riverton football started back at their own 31, and now they have it 1st and goal from the Douglas 10-yard line, ball right on the 10.
We talked in the Porter's Tailgate Show about the down-the-road implications of a game like this. Obviously, well into conference play now. Means a lot to Douglas, senior night at home, but it means arguably just as much, if not more, to the Riverton Wolverines, who are trying to prove, find that ceiling for this team. How good are they exactly? Can they go 3-0, 2-1 to wrap up the regular season and maybe host a playoff game? Starts on this very first drive of this game in Douglas, though. You're moving the ball so efficiently, pretty much doing what you want to do schematically down the field. It would be, I think, anything less than 6 points on these next few plays would be a disappointment for this opening drive.
Score of interest, and we'll keep a close eye on this one in 3A football. Number 1 versus number 2 tonight. Star Valley at Cody. Second quarter score, Star Valley 28, Cody 7. Did not expect a 21-point differential at all in that game, but We'll see what happens there. Two receivers to either side out of the timeout. DeVries in the shotgun. He's got Blake Gattenbein with him in the backfield. DeVries calls out the signals, claps his hands, looks for the snap. Now he's going to take it off to the left side. DeVries slips a tackle. He's down inside the 5. Referee's going to put him down at about the 3. Derek with a nice individual effort there after contact to keep moving forward and set up a 2nd and goal from the 3.
See, the Wolverines like to use that dummy count, and that's why. DeVries seeing pressure pre-snap on the clap coming from his right, and looks over to the sideline to get that second play call from Coach Lenhart. And with the pressure coming from the right, they figure they can have some success running away from it. Nice gain, well inside the 5 now for 2nd and goal.
Wolverines break the huddle again. 2nd and goal from the 3. Douglas Fire Department trucks making some noise, trying to cheer their Bearcats on. 2 receivers out to the right side. DeVries in the shotgun, going to run with it. Is tackled near the goal line. He's down inside the 1. So a pickup of a couple, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal from very close here for the Wolverines. Maybe a little further away than I thought. Ball at about
1.5 maybe.
1 yard line, just outside of the 1, like Scott mentioned.
You're really tempted, especially as a coach that likes to run first if you can, to definitely try to punch it in here on 3rd down, and hopefully you don't have to make a decision about 4th down.
Power formation for the Wolverines. DeVries is going to run it again to the left side, and he is in, standing up. Touchdown, Wolverines on a time-consuming first quarter drive. Derek DeVries from 1.5 yards out makes it 6-0 Riverton, PAT pending.
Gotta give a huge shout out to the entire offensive line. Whether or not you can see it on the County 10 YouTube channel, Douglas's front 4, when they go for, that's as big a guys as the Wolverines have seen on both sides of the ball. And Riverton's offensive line more or less imposed their will and did exactly what they wanted to do on that long, maybe more importantly, time-consuming drive to take some of the air out of the balloon of senior night here in Douglas and put the Bearcats exactly where they're not super comfortable being, and having to maybe throw first and become a little bit more one-dimensional. The first drive, wouldn't expect them to abandon any game plan so far, but obviously what you're looking for the Wolverines in any road contest on the very first drive of the game.
Hunter Saltzgaver kicks his 20th extra point of the season. He's 20 for 21. The only one he missed was that block that I don't know that he got a chance on. He is perfect otherwise this season. 5:49 to play first quarter. It's Riverton 7, number 5, Douglas nothing. Douglas will get an opportunity for the first time with the football coming up, but saw time-consuming drives in the Rollins game, the Lander game, and start the game with a time-consuming drive that takes 6 minutes, 11 seconds, goes 69 yards, and capped off by a 1.5-yard touchdown run from Derek DeVries. Saltzgaver will have it teed up. A couple of Douglas Bearcats go back deep to receive. Jarrett Jones is back there, and Brody Wagner back with him. And over in kicked is fielded by Jones inside of his 5-yard line, has some room to the right side, and will dive across the 30-yard line. He's down right there at the 30. So that's where the Bearcats will take over at their own 30 to start their first drive of the ball game with 5:43 remaining first quarter from Douglas High School. Again, I'm Jared Anderson, joined by Scott Fuller. We're glad to have you here on the County 10 Sports Network, whether you're listening on 105.1 Jack FM or watching along with us on County 10's YouTube channel, streaming video there. Trey Wren, for the first time, is ready to field a snap under center for the Douglas Bearcats. Wren fakes the handoff, has some pressure in the backfield, is just going to turn it upfield, will turn it into a positive gain of 3 yards before he's corralled by Tyree Harris-Aragon and Ty Sheets.
Trey Wren, senior quarterback, he can move. What the Wolverines want to do is force his design run plays outside and force his throwing opportunities on the run outside as well. When he has a design run play, between the tackles. He can be real speedy and difficult to bring down. He's also not as good throwing outside of the tackles on the run.
2 in the backfield. 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side for Rinn. He'll give it to the second man through. That's Wagner. And Brody's going to be stood up. That was a nice job by the Wolverine defense. Harris Aragon, Cox is in there. Ryan, we were told, would get more time. Caden Liebrick, Talon Toman in there too. Just a pile of Wolverines. And a gain of a couple for the Bearcats' leading ball carrier will set up a 3rd and 5. Great if you're Riverton to get a 3 and out after a long scoring drive. Rinn is going to be in the shotgun. He's got 2 running backs to either side of him. 2 receivers split out to the right side, 1 to the left. Rinn, 3-step drop, now just steps up in the pocket, wants to go. Misses a tackle, dodges a tackle, and now is drug out of bounds. We're going to get a late hit. Picked up the first down anyway, but Jackson Larson, a little bit late out of bounds, is going to turn this into a much bigger gain for Douglas ultimately.
Larson typically playing that free safety position, usually single high, so the Wolverines can help out in run support there, and he was flying a long way from that free safety spot and just mistimed it, I think, a little bit there. No ill intent, obviously. Jackson Larson helping Rinn up after the play, but it appeared to me to be a hit out of bounds. And that will be an expensive slight mental lapse there for the Wolverine defense. Go from 3rd and 5 on the right side of the 50 from the Wolverine perspective to now they'll march out 15 from the end of what was a nice first down conversion on 3rd and 5. You got to respect Trey Rinn, especially what he can do on the ground between the tackles, and once he gets a couple of steps where he's not contested, he can be a problem.
Between Rinn and DeVries, I think we're going to see a lot of quarterback-designed runs tonight. Rinn is in the shotgun again. He's got those 2 running backs in the backfield with him. 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Wolverines with 4 on the defensive line. Give it to Wagner. Wagner with a burst of speed out to the right side. He'll get 7, maybe 8 on the carry before he's finally brought down, and a much better job on first down that time from this Bearcat offense. Wagner's got 2 carries for 10 yards. Call it 2nd and 1. Rinn goes to visit with head coach Jay Rhodes in his 18th year on the sideline. Runs the play in here, and we'll see what they do on 2nd and 1. Might be time for a shot if they've Douglas.
Don't know if that was a designed read for Rinn or not. Couldn't tell. Maybe the running back a little bit too far away, or maybe there was no intention of handing that ball off. Doesn't really matter for the Bearcats. It turned out exactly as they were hoping for.
Trey Rinn will go under center this time. Wagner is the deep man in the backfield. He's also got Carter Archuleta there with him. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Again, give it to Wagner. He'll try left side and is drugged down by Ryan Cox, but Wagner picks up 4 yards and is just inside of the Wolverine 20-yard line. Brody Wagner, the senior running back, playing his final game, at least of the regular season here at Douglas. 14 yards on the ground.
One thing to watch from Wagner, obviously a talented running back, difficult to get down, but you'll see him take a handoff and he will grab it with both of his hands, which is a huge no-no. I imagine he's done it for the entirety of his high school career, but when weather gets a little bit chilly and some other things happen there in the backfield, that can become a problem.
Archuleta and Wagner in the backfield again. Receiver comes in motion, will line up slot left. They'll pitch it to Wagner, right side off the edge. He's right near the first down, keeps moving forward, and is all the way down to the 10-yard line. Good burst of speed after contact, too, by Wagner, who picks up 9 on the play. And the Bearcats march down the field, 3 first downs, helped by that late hit penalty, but Wolverine defense going to need to come up with something here, and Wolverines thought the officials were talking something over for a second. They got together, and now they're going to start the clock. It'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line for Douglas. 2:17 to play. Wolverines on top 7-0, but the Bearcats driving first and goal. Rinn in the shotgun. 2 in the backfield. 2 receivers to the left now. Fake it to Wagner. Rinn's going to try to keep it. Better job by the Wolverines defensively that time. Let him get free for maybe 3 on the ground, but then we're right there to swarm around Trey Rinn. Rinn's 4th rush attempt. He's got 18 yards on the ground.
That play's as good as it gets against Rinn when he's designed to run between the tackles. Idea is to hit him by the 2nd or 3rd step and just make him feel the contact and start to adjust to you before he has a whole lot of time to get creative with his feet.
2nd down and 6. 2nd down and goal from the 6-yard line for Douglas. Rinn out of the shotgun. Fake the handoff. Wants to throw it. Swatted away by Clay Sheets. Wanted Archuleta, and Clay Sheets wasn't going to have any part of that. Knocks it away. Incomplete for Rinn's first passing attempt of the game.
I really like this play call, and Rinn did a great job of selling that fake. Sheets in the corner, not getting lulled in, keeping his eye on his assignment, and great timing to get his hand up. That was a decent ball, and again, a great job by Rinn to follow the play through.
3rd and goal from the 6 for Douglas. Rinn out of the shotgun. Archuleta with him in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right side. He's on the run to the right. Pass is intercepted. Taken away by Riverton in the end zone. It's McIntosh who runs it out. He'll be tackled at the 7-yard line. 3rd and goal, and Riverton comes up with a turnover.
This is one of the vulnerabilities I spotted on Rinn in film this week. When he's designed a pass rollout to his right, he has a tendency to wait way too long on reads, and things that are open with play design close up. McIntosh, very savvy secondary player to make the pick. That's a huge defensive turnover. Nick knows better than that to try to run it out, sit on it for the touchback, but great defensive stands, forced turnover for the Wolverines.
How about that Wolverine secondary the last 2 times? Had Sheets bat down a ball. McIntosh comes up with the pick. Did run it out of the end zone, and they'll put it at the 6. So that's where Riverton will start with 1:14 to play first quarter action. It's Riverton 7, Douglas 0 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. DeVries over the middle to McIntosh. It's complete, and that'll get him out of the shadow of their own end zone. McIntosh hauls it in and is tackled at about the 24-yard line. Pickup of 18 on the first play of the second drive for Riverton.
I want to start calling that play the McSlant, where Nick is in the slot and they run it at about 7 yards and they run it much deeper at about 17 yards. But that is successful for Riverton all season so far. Nobody's been able to stop it.
Empty backfield for the Wolverines. Got DeVries in the shotgun, trips to the right, 2 receivers to his left. Snap to DeVries, fades to throw, well protected again. It's hauled in for a medium gain on the far side. Is that Blake? It is Gattenbind for a gain of 6. Derek DeVries now 5 of 5.
Sorry about that, Jared. Riverton is displaying all aspects of their offense so far here in the first quarter of this game in Douglas. They spend the first drive pretty much running the ball, mostly with their senior quarterback DeVries, and now they drop him back inside the pocket. Offensive line has given him plenty of time. And when you've established both of these facets of the offense, that they can do pretty well, especially when Nick is scrambling and running behind the tackles as well as he did in that first drive. Good luck coming up with a defensive scheme that can contain all of that on 2nd and 3rd down.
That is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Wolverines up 7-0 on the number 5 Douglas Bearcats as we head to the second quarter. We'll take a timeout. Bring you more Wolverine football action after this. You're listening on 105.1 Jack FM and watching on County 10's YouTube channel.
News leader. We're everywhere. On the web, mobile, social, and on your radio dial. With all the news you need to feel connected. From sports to board meetings and community features, we work hard to bring you all the latest updates you care about. Visit us today at county10.com. County 10. Community. Connected.
Elevate Rehab's founding principle on you is evident from your first visit to the last. Our practice model ensures treatment as you deserve, a private one-on-one session with a licensed therapist the entire visit, every visit. All therapists hold advanced credentialing, including 2 certified hand therapists, an orthopedic clinical specialist, an MDT therapist, as well as pelvic floor and pregnancy rehab offerings. With over 100 years of combined experience between our 7 clinicians, Elevate is your ticket to health. Find us in Lander, DuBois, and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab to elevate your outcomes.
Wolverines back out quick on the ball to start the second quarter of action. DeVries is in the shotgun. Faked one way, now will go the other way. He picks up the first down on the ground and more. Derek's got a gain of 10 on the ground. He's all the way out to his own 40-yard line. Does come up hobbling a little bit on that right foot, it looks like, but will stay in the ball game after another Riverton first down. Again, as we start the second quarter, it's Riverton 7, Douglas nothing on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard.
That foot makes a lot more sense when I hear you describe that, Jared. An ankle sprain, as we have a timeout here again by the Wolverines, their second of the first half. But to finish the thought, ankle sprain is a tearing of the ligaments of the ankle to whatever severity, and everything a quarterback and pretty much every football player does is based on his base and his footwork. A foot injury, depending on exactly what it is, can be easier to overcome. Still going to bother you, but probably doesn't inhibit your mobility and your range of motion quite as much. So that makes a whole lot more sense to me than especially a high ankle sprain.
Want to thank Perfect Power Electric, our live stream sponsor. Perfect Power Electric in Lander supports our athletes on and off the field. Give Perfect Power a call for your electric needs. Also, shout out to Bailey Tire and Auto Service, proud to support our local athletes with their full-service tire and auto shops. They're located at 755 South Federal in Riverton, 1305 West Main in Lander. Of course, at the conclusion of all of our games, we do the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. Riverton back on the football out of the timeout. They've got it 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Send Nick McIntosh into the backfield in motion. Misdirection. They're going to hand this to Tyree Harris-Aragon. His first carry I've seen of the year. It's not going to go for much. In fact, he may have lost a yard, but Harris-Aragon into the mix.
Running back by committee, and that pretty much means whoever can hang on to the ball and get hit and not drop it. Playing running back is nowhere near that simple, but when your RB1 goes down fairly early in the season and you have such a creative playbook and so many different offensive weapons, just athletes, a lot of guys can learn stuff and can be taught stuff and have ability to make some plays when you find a way to get the ball in their hands. But yeah, I don't remember a Harris-Aragon carry prior to that one either.
DeVries in the shotgun, trips to the right, one in the backfield with him. He'll set his feet and throws it into traffic, and this is intercepted, taken away by Douglas. Cash Tillard is there, picking it off at near midfield, and Douglas is going to take things over in great position, just a little behind the receiver there.
Yeah, not a great ball, not a perfect read either. You should see that lurking. I think it was a safety over the top. And the other thing that Derek did on that play was he stared down that look the entire time. It was his first read. As soon as he took that snap, that's where he was looking, and the safety read the play and a turnover. So 1 per turnovers here in the first quarter, plus a couple of minutes of this game.
Douglas will take it back at the Wolverine 48 with 10:44 to play second quarter. Give it to Wagner, who squirts forward for a gain of 2 on first down. Brody now 5 carries, 25 yards.
I'm going to have to get over this, but when you grab the ball with both hands off the handoff, like Wagner does, there's so many things that can go wrong on the mesh, and one of those things is if you hit the line too quick, you haven't secured the ball with that 5 points of contact that you like as a running back, and if you get hit like you got hit on that play, something can pop loose.
Archuleta and Wagner in the backfield with Trey Wren, 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Give it to Wagner again. He is stood up by Ryan Cox. Powers forward, kind of falls forward for another yard. Will pick up 2, maybe 3, bringing up a 3rd and medium. See Talon Tillman with some sportsmanship helping Wagner back up after the contact. Tillman was there. Ryan Cox was there for the Riverton stop.
This is no man's land here, so very important for the Wolverines not to give up the first, obviously. But if you get 1 or 2 here, you might go for it on 4th, whereas if Riverton can knock him back, field position might be tempting to punt here for Douglas.
Wren will send Wagner in motion, fake like they were going to hand it to Wagner, and now he wants to air it out. Had a man open, but overshoots Trenton Pearson. Would have been 6 there if they could have connected, but just an overthrown football by Trey Wren.
Yeah, you can't, especially if you're that safety, especially if you're the lone safety, you can't let anybody behind you. And the Wolverines had 2 guys in the area there. Probably a corner and some safety help over the top, but receiver easily with 2 steps on either of them. And had that ball been better thrown by the senior quarterback Wren, that would have been an easy 6.
Douglas looks like they're going to punt on 4th down, and they will. Trey Wren is the quarterback and also the punter. His high punt will hit at the 20-yard line and drift to about the 15 where it is touched. Riverton will take back over with 9:08 remaining. Wolverine defense shuts him down that time on 3 and out, basically. Thought, like you said, Scott, they might go for it at that point of the field, but they do not. Riverton will take over again after the DeVries interception.
I mean, big on the defense to help your quarterback out. Not a great throw, not a great read. Certainly not what we're used to from Derek DeVries, but he's going to do that sometimes. Doesn't matter how long you've played or how many snaps you've taken, how many balls you've thrown, that's going to happen. So the defense has to step up on a pretty short field. They did. Wolverines with the ball back.
Douglas has won the last 10 matchups against Riverton. Snap to DeVries, wants to run it direct to DeVries and gets a healthy gain of 9 out to the right side as he crosses the 25-yard line, is knocked down right around the 25, and referee turns to the chain crew and says, let's move. So 10 yards on 1st down for Derek.
Can't remember a game for the Wolverines so far where in the first half, over 2 quarters, they've so consistently moved the sticks. And in so many different ways. They're doing it with mostly DeVries on the ground, obviously, through the air on that last drive previous to this one. But it seemed to have been a sputtering. Either they had a good first quarter or a good second quarter, but they're putting together a good first half so far.
DeVries is under center this time. 2 men in the backfield. He'll give it to the second guy through. I think that's Gattenbein, who gets 6 yards. I'll pick out a number in just a moment. It is Blake Gattenbein who gets a gain of 6. Blake has carried the ball twice now for 14 yards. 2nd and 4 coming up.
I love how Blake has stepped up as a sophomore, not just to fill the shoes of DeVries at the quarterback position when needed, but also in the backfield. I can't imagine that's a position he's very familiar with, and he's taken to it pretty well.
2 in the backfield again. Give it to the second guy through. Bearcats going to stand up. The rusher, is that Blake again? I don't know why I can't ever pick out Blake's number, but that is Blake Gattenbein, who goes basically nowhere and maybe give him half a yard on the play. We'll see a 3rd and 4 coming up for Riverton.
Got to find a first down here somehow. You're not going to go for it this deep against this team this part of the season, I wouldn't think, unless it's real short. Coach Lenhart likes a screen. We know that. He likes that. We'll call it the mixed slant. I'm going to trademark that unless McDonald's has a problem with it. McIntosh may be an option. DeVries may be on a sweep. A screen. We'll see.
DeVries in the shotgun, 1 in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. DeVries rolling to his left, now a look back. There's that slant. Flag flies in. Gattenbein, in the meantime, has a whole lot of running room. He's all the way to the 50-yard line where he's finally tackled, but let's check out the flag. It's thrown in the area where you might not be thrilled if you're an RHS fan.
I think this is going to be lineman downfield. Holding the indication, actually. So that was a screen. That was a design throwback. We've seen that play very successful for the Wolverines. I don't remember it being penalized in the 2 or 3 times they've run it against different teams. But it is an awkward thing for the offensive line, knowing where the play is going, to try to basically pass protect while also kind of letting your guy through on the screen, and you want to give your quarterback enough time because he has to roll all the way out. Not like a typical screen where you just drop straight back and you let the D through and you throw it over the top of him. This requires some movement from DeVries, and so a little extra time is required to hold your guy on the offensive line. In the case of that last play, it was literally hold your guy, unfortunately for the Wolverines. So a 3rd and 5 becomes a 3rd and long on anybody's play sheet.
Looks like a 3rd and 14 after that nice play that Gattenbein would have had comes back from a hole. DeVries out of the shotgun, sets his feet under a little bit of pressure. Wants McIntosh. He's got him at midfield. McIntosh wrestles his defender to the turf. He's drugged down from behind, but he gets all the way out to the 27-yard line. A huge pickup for Riverton on a 3rd and 14. All the way down into Douglas territory to the 26-yard line.
What makes Nick McIntosh so dangerous is his ability as a receiver one-on-one to scheme against, because that just enables you to spread the field vertically and take the top off the defense. 3rd and 14, yeah, we're just going to throw a post to McIntosh on the outside. That's not a realistic option for most offenses, but when you have DeVries who can throw accurately like he can, and McIntosh who is really elite at the 3A level in single coverage, that is an option on 3rd down, as we just saw.
Fresh set of downs for Riverton. Officials looking at each other for something, but they're going to actually move the football further down the field for
outside of their offensive comfort zone. They're only going to run Rin so much when they're down 2 scores.
2nd down and 7 from the Bearcat 19. 2-by-2 the set. Gattenbein in the backfield off of the left side. Now he'll switch over to the right side of Derek DeVries. Shotgun snap to DeVries. Option pitch it to Gattenbein, who is cut down pretty quick. Tried to get out to the right side. Couldn't get the corner, and a good defensive stop. Carter Archuleta was there, and a couple other Bearcats. 3rd and medium. I'll call it a 3rd and 5.
I think Wolverines are running option either direction, and with that pre-snap read, they saw the pressure was coming from the right side. They decided with some extra help over there to run it to the right side. It's really a simple, nice adjustment to a defense.
Empty backfield for DeVries. Trips to the left, 2 receivers to the right. He's got Gattenbein and Sheets out to the right. He'll just run it right up the middle, and he is not going to get the 1st down, but he does pick up 4, so he'll make it a 4th and short.
Oh boy, you got a kicker. I mean, you can kick this field goal if you want to, but yeah, it's looking about 1, and probably all of 1. Obviously, if you don't get it, if you do go for it and come up short, field position problem for Douglas. But can't tell if that's the field goal unit or not coming on. I see what the Wolverines elect to do.
See Derek DeVries coming back out. I do not see Hunter Saltzgaver. They did make quite a few substitutions there.
May have to take a timeout here if you can't get on the ball quickly. You got 1 left.
Riverton appears they're going to go for it. DeVries in the shotgun. Send Caden Liebricht in motion. This is a power set, and DeVries is going to run it. He'll go off the left side. He's got the 1st down. He's down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. When DeVries needs a yard, he picks up 4.
Calls his own number, too. Saw the motion to the right side, calling strong side, calling the attention to that right side of the defense, and DeVries. Not sure if he took 1 step in that direction or not to kind of counteraction the play, but he had enough blocking there on the left with enough attention by the defense on the other side to find all he needed. Actually, a couple of more there. Can't tell if they're inside the 10. Looks like it will be 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 7 after Riverton converts the 4th and 1.
Taking a lot of time getting this play in, too.
DeVries will snap the huddle. They'll rush to the line of scrimmage quickly. McIntosh and Sheets out to the left side. Now Ty comes in motion. DeVries will take it up the middle again. He's down to about the 5-yard line, so a couple of yards there on 1st and goal for Derek. Unofficially, Derek has ran the football 12 times already, 89 yards, and does have that rushing touchdown as we're already to the 3:30 mark of the 2nd quarter. Riverton on top of Douglas, 7-0. Again, it's been since 2012 since Riverton has defeated Douglas. All-time series, though, very close. Riverton actually leads 21-20-1. See, 2nd down and goal from the 5 coming up for Riverton. Derek works out of the shotgun. Ty Sheets to the left side. He's got McIntosh and one more receiver to the right side. Now Sheets comes in motion. We'll go to the right side as well. DeVries throws incomplete. Wanted a Wolverine receiver whose number I can't see. That may be Clay Sheets out there. Actually, I think that's Jackson Larson. It is Jackson that joined them. But DeVries, just his second interception of the ball game, or second incompletion of the ball game, had the interception earlier, and is 6 of 8 so far throwing.
He's very accurate, and not used to seeing that interception that he threw earlier in the game. And then that incompletion, as we have, it looks like a timeout here by the Wolverines. That's their third and final timeout. Incompletion there. That's kind of the problem that ran into running that similar play that led to the McIntosh interception in the end zone. Is you shorten the field. The quarterback realistically is not going to throw all the way back across his body to the left side, so the field's already cut in half. And as you're moving to the right, you have to make usually a more accurate throw than not, because when you cut that field in half, the defenders will leak that way in coverage. But don't mind the play call on first down, especially. And DeVries, the senior quarterback, smart enough to know if it's not there, just heave it out of the back of the end zone and live to snap it on second down.
Myers Gamble's making this broadcast possible. They're on Main Street in Lander, excited to cheer on Fremont County student athletes. Gamble says winning deals. Remember, delivery is free 30 miles from the store. That includes Riverton. Turnaround, shop in town, Myers Gamble's. Don't forget, this drive started at the 9:08 mark at Riverton's own 15-yard line. Another time-consuming over 6-minute drive. We saw one of those in the first quarter. We've seen another one. Would have to say Riverton dominating time of possession based on these two drives alone. DeVries back in the shotgun, has one man in the backfield, two receivers to the right side, one to the left. Rolling to the right side, wants to throw, and it's off of the hands of Ty Sheets. Good throw by Derek DeVries. Ty just couldn't come up with it, hung his head, and it's going to make it a 4th down, and I think we'll see a field goal attempt now with personnel shift.
So that's the same play. It's almost exactly the same play, but I'll bet somebody, a player or a coach, said, we can run that again and have a stop route in there, and it's going to be wide open, and it was. Been thinking about that drop for a while.
Hunter Saltzgaver on with a 22-yard attempt. Nick McIntosh the hold. Saltzgaver the kick. Looks good. It is good. Hunter Saltzgaver with 2:47 remaining in the first half gives Riverton a 10-0 lead over the 5th-ranked Douglas Bearcats.
2 scores is huge early in the game and on the road against an offense that likes to run first, especially with their quarterback Trey Wren. Worry about the big plays, and the Wolverines have not given up one yet so far, but we almost saw one on that blown coverage on that deep 4th down pass attempt that would have been an easy 6 for Douglas. So I know that's something that Coach Lenhart is aware of. That was an issue against Lander last week. A couple of big plays in the first half kind of kept the Tigers in the game in that one. But so far the defense has been stout enough and the offense efficient enough to be up by 2 scores on the road.
How about Hunter Saltzgaver? 4 of 4 field goal attempts. His longest was 32. So 22-yarder right there, but perfect so far this season. Also, shout out to personally for the Saltzgaver grandparents. Ran into them earlier today, and I believe they're watching along. So the entire Saltzgaver family will say hello, and everyone watching back in Fremont County. 2:47 to play, second quarter. It's Riverton 10, number 5 Douglas 0. This is kind of the time in the ballgame you're used to seeing Riverton go on a drive. We'll see what Douglas does here. Saltzgaver will put the toe to it. It is fielded by Wagner. Wagner had to retreat to grab it. He's across the 10-yard line, is driven to the ground before he reaches the 20. Who was that in there with the big hit for Riverton? He's being swarmed by a lot of his teammates, so it's hard to pick him out. I think that's Daniel Clausen, 68. Daniel Clausen gets the PA credit to Clausen, a sophomore.
I was going to say, it's usually a sophomore. When your teammates react like that, it's usually an underclassman who made a big play. Guys with the number 68, and sophomores no less, typically don't make that play.
I love the first time we get to call Daniel Clausen coming up at a big moment. Takes unexpected players sometimes to win games like this, and that was a big one on special teams. Rinn works out of the shotgun, finds Archuleta, who does a nice job of hanging on to the football, and Archuleta's got some speed. He's off the left sideline, or the right sideline, and picks up the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Once Archuleta gets going, he is tough to stop.
Yeah, you'd like to see some better tackling there, too. Rinn in the pocket is just fine. He has a good footwork, good shoulder placement in the pocket. It's when he is rolling out to throw on those designed rollouts where he gets in trouble.
Trey's got two receivers to either side out of the shotgun, now sends a man in motion, will fake the handoff and go, and Rinn's got all kinds of room. He's across midfield, has a first down, and more is finally brought down by Tyree Harris-Aragon, but not before he picks up a big gain and is all the way down to the 46-yard line of Riverton.
You've got to get a hand or at least force a change in direction on Trey Rinn before a couple of steps, otherwise that's going to happen all day.
Douglas going a lot quicker now. Rinn will throw for a medium gain to Cash Tillard. That'll be 4, and Rinn's second completion of the drive, second completion of the game.
You see the Bearcats going hurry up, kind of sensing that Riverton's defense is a bit on their heels, and now's when you got to watch out for that big play when the Bearcats can go into their wide playbook.
Inside of 2 minutes to play second quarter. Riverton trying to show some edge pressure from Talon Tillman, but they don't get the snap off before a penalty flies. First penalty of the game that I can recall, at least, on Douglas. False start.
I think they're going to call a lineman on that. Didn't see any problem with the receiver in motion, and the backfield was kind of confused by that too, but I think 54 would be 64. That was called for it. Don't have a 54 on the roster. Either way, Wolverines will take it.
Rinn is in the shotgun again. Two receivers to either side. Fades to throw. Well protected. Wanted Tillman, but overshoots him out of bounds, and it lands incomplete. So bring up a 3rd and 10 after the Rinn incompletion.
The problem with throwing deep on second down is exactly what we are seeing right now for the Bearcats. Now you have to throw. Not necessarily. We've seen Trey Rinn be able to run when he has some space, but this is definitely a passing situation. That's why you see a lot of coaches just across the board like to run or a little screen on second down to make it a little third more manageable.
Rinn's got trips to the left side, single receiver to his right. Big play here late second quarter. Rinn wants to throw across the middle. It's completed to Wagner. He's got the first down and is hauled down by Harris-Aragon at the 31-yard line. Big first down pickup for Rinn and the Bearcats.
I don't know how you want to do it, but you have to get some pressure on Rinn when he wants to throw in the pocket. I will take Riverton's odds of him scrambling and throwing all day, but when he's in the pocket, especially when he has a good first or even second read, he's pretty dangerous.
Tillman goes in motion. Rinn again works out of the shotgun. He's rolling to his left. Now fires across the middle to Wagner again. Wagner's got it for a first down and more, all the way down to about the 16-yard line. Another big pickup of 14. Rinn to Wagner.
I give Rinn some credit there, rolling to his left, and he made a quick decision. Did not wait too long that time. Threw off the correct foot, made a nice throw to an open receiver.
Two receivers to the right side. Fake it to Wagner. Now Rinn wants to run with it. Slips a tackle, and Rinn is gone to the house. Touchdown, Douglas Bearcats. From 16 yards out, Trey Rinn gives Douglas their first points of the game with 46 seconds to play in the second quarter.
He has got to be contacted one way or the other in his third or second step forward when it's a designed run to the senior quarterback. You just can't count on anyone in the second level being as quick or as agile as he is to be in a good tackling position to bring him down. Ooh, is that blocked?
It looked blocked. I had my head down recording some stats, and I think that it was either blocked or off of a lineman. Hit us up on the County 10 YouTube comments if you saw that play.
I believe it was blocked, and I didn't see who did it. I don't want to make apologies for anything here in the broadcast booth, but yours truly is running the camera as well. So any camera complaints, you can direct them to Jared. But I did not saw the pressure coming from the kicker's left. Must have been a block, or at least a partial block. That's big.
The thing is, the play-by-play guys are supposed to be watching the play, and I had my head down recording stats, and that Trey Rinn touchdown. Again, 46 seconds on the clock here, second quarter. So perhaps a big moment there with the no-good PAT. Douglas with a real quick drive there. They went 80 yards to do it, too, in just over a minute and a half of elapsed time. So it's Riverton 10, Douglas 6, with 46 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Coming up at the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show, we'll get you the Wyoming Catholic College Riverton High School Student of the Week. We'll also update you on some scores of interest around Wyoming High School football, look at stats, and I've got a couple of shout-outs coming in now on the YouTube channel and the Facebook page I've got to get to, so hang in there. We'll go Casey Kasem and get you all your long-distance shout-outs. The kick by Rinn is fielded on a bounce by Sheets. Sheets will make one man miss across the 20-yard line. Sheets, the speedster, bounces off of another. He's out close to the 40-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds. And Riverton will take over with just 35 seconds remaining in the half, but at their own 43-yard line.
Whether it's Sheets or McIntosh on kick return, once you make that first and second guy miss, it can be a problem for a kick cover team. By that point in the play, your lanes are all blown, and it's just a matter of really experienced athletic ball carriers finding open spaces, and the difference there was a difference of about 35 yards and gives the Wolverines some time to work some end-of-half magic, which we have seen them do consistently throughout the season.
Get the impression they want to throw. Empty backfield. DeVries has trips to the right, two receivers to the left side. Looks at his coaching staff, now takes the snap, wants to throw across the middle. It's complete to McIntosh, and Nick crosses midfield down to the 45-yard line. Riverton trying to do some work here after taking a whole lot of timeouts early on in this one. DeVries will spike it.
Nice job by McIntosh hanging on to that ball. He took a pretty good shot at the end of the run, but did not take a whole lot of time off the clock. Still plenty of time. The Wolverines do have... No, now they're out of timeouts. That's the downside, obviously, of using those timeouts to make good plays better in a half, is you run out of ability to stop the clock without losing it down, and you get to a point where here, if a Wolverine is tackled inbound, you may have just 2 plays left in the half.
25 seconds remaining in the half. Riverton football at the Bearcat 43 after the completion to McIntosh. DeVries low snap, able to gather it in, wants to throw to the right side. It's complete and knocked out of bounds is McIntosh again. That's right at the sticks. They'll pick up 10.
McIntosh, knowing that he has to get at least a foot down, knowing he has to complete the catch, and knowing that that safety is about to give him a pretty good shot. You're going to get hit either way. You may as well hang on to the ball. And it results... Thought it was a first down. Was not good enough for a first down, which does make a difference here in a potential trying to spike it to clock the ball, depending on what happens on this play.
Just a 5-second play, though. 3rd and 1 with 20 seconds remaining in the half now. No timeouts for Riverton. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. DeVries, throw it quick. Another out to the sidelines. Complete. And a first down, Wolverines.
It's another 4+ second play, and that is enough to move the sticks, which opens up your ability to throw in the middle of the field and still have some time to get on the ball and clock it without timeouts.
That was Clay Sheets' first reception. Saw Clay make a nice play in the secondary earlier and is able to haul it in right along the sidelines.
The missed PAT, the block PAT, looking pretty big right now, depending on the end of this drive.
5 receivers again, 3 to the left. DeVries in the shotgun under some pressure this time, rolling, and will fire it out of bounds. Felt some pressure by a Bearcat lineman that time, and it's 2nd down and 10 now with 11 seconds to play in the half. Ball at the Douglas 28.
A really smart play by Derek. He is one that is unafraid. In fact, I think he prefers to kind of wander and let the play develop in front of him. But in this situation, with now 11.1 on the clock, he doesn't have time. And his field is pretty limited. If you take too much time trying to find a receiver downfield and he's tackled in the middle of the field, may not have enough time to get on the ball and clock it.
Empty backfield again for DeVries out of the shotgun. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. DeVries wants to throw. He's under pressure. Makes one man jump and miss. DeVries will throw it along the sideline. It's hauled in with 3 seconds remaining. That's Ty Sheets there this time. So time for one more play. And
a little bit too long for a field goal, I think. Be an interesting proposition, but I think the wise thing to do is, I think I saw an indication that was incomplete on the far sideline. So they're going to bring the ball back to the original line of scrimmage, which kind of makes your decision for you, I think, with 3.5 seconds left as to whether or not you go to the end zone or bring the field goal team on. That would end up being a 46-yard field goal, thereabouts, maybe 45.
Ty Sheets was able to bring it in, but apparently out of bounds, according to the officials. They're still gathered around each other. We'll get an indication here, maybe.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's an ineligible man downfield. One of the linemen going a bit too far on the scramble there down the field, and that moves the ball back a further 5 yards.
That'll put it at the Bearcat 33-yard line with just 3 seconds left. Wolverines are going to line up here.
Bag of tricks, maybe, we'll see.
On offense, presumably flag pending, last play of the half. DeVries in the shotgun, has the arm, lets it go to the end zone. It was tipped and falls incomplete. DeVries got it there, but does fall incomplete. So we have reached the half at the intermission. Riverton on top of the number 5 team in 3A football. It's the Wolverines 10, the Douglas Bearcats 6. Would have loved to have seen the Wolverines come up with some kind of points there if you're a Riverton fan, but man, even coming up empty, Riverton has proven to be really good in those circumstances late in the second quarter, and frankly, based on what we've seen, wasn't shocked at all that they put a drive together there. Would have loved to maybe have one more timeout, save some time in that circumstance, but Riverton moving the football very well despite not coming up with any points there.
Yeah, you kind of start to take it for granted, like, oh, we got 35 seconds left in the half, we got to go 60 yards, that's no problem. But they're very efficient at moving the ball down the field. And they're used to doing it, Jared, without many timeouts.
Absolutely. We will have the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show coming up here in just a few moments. Again, it is Riverton on top of the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, 10-6. Let's take a timeout and we'll reset the halftime scene coming up here. You are watching Wolverine football on County 10's YouTube channel and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Voice and visit our website or Facebook page. Choose Elevate Rehab to elevate your outcomes.
At Eyes on Fremont, we know that good vision is about more than just seeing clearly. That's why we're dedicated to providing expert eye care for the whole family. From children's exams to contacts, LASIK to glaucoma treatment, we're here to help. We accept most insurance plans, and our experienced team will make sure you feel right at home. Schedule an appointment today at 111 South Broadway in Riverton, or give us a call at 307-856-9000. Visit WyomingEyes.net to learn more.
See Allison at lunch today? I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna text Allison. Hey, hold up, Matt's calling me. Hey, we got the food and we're on our way right now. Hey, who's coming, bro? You're the one who needs help.
Wyoming Catholic College is a unique institution that offers an immersion into Western tradition, the beauty and challenges of the wilderness, and the treasures of the Catholic spiritual heritage. Our mission is to provide a unique educational experience that nurtures the body, mind, and spirit.
We are proud of our alumni success stories and the learning opportunities we offer through our academic outreach program. Come and explore our campus in Lander, Wyoming.
This is Maven, award-winning optics for the adventurous. From binoculars to spotting scopes, Maven has you covered. Be prepared for scouting, wildlife watching, or any outdoor adventure. As a proud sponsor of local high school sports, we wish all the Fremont County athletes the best of luck this season. Visit Maven.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM. Back to the ball game. Here are Scott Fuller and Jared Anderson.
Halftime from Douglas. Riverton on top of the Bearcats, 10-6. An exciting first half of football and a very intriguing one as Riverton largely dominated time of possession, held the football for a couple of lengthy scoring drives, and ultimately are leading a ranked opponent. I don't have archives. I was thinking about this coming over to try to figure out when the last time Riverton's beaten a ranked opponent in the YO Preps polls. I know it's been a very long time, but I don't have that ready to go, so I'll try to do some digging on that here at the halftime show and get that in the second half. But Riverton on top of Douglas 10-6, and you did see the Bearcats put together their best drive of the game so far late in the second quarter. It was a short drive and a lot of hurry-up offense, but Trey Wren and the Bearcat offense did look very threatening there when they clicked and put some things together.
Yeah. No, they really are. The first order of business that the Wolverines really haven't figured out in that first half is how to get to Wren between the tackles when he wants to run on a designed run. He's just so quick after the second or third step. And he's also made a couple of nice balls on the run outside the pocket, nice throws. He's also made some mistakes there. One led to a Nick McIntosh interception in the end zone. But he is a quarterback with some tendencies you can exploit, but you have to get to him. I think the Wolverines somehow not necessarily want to blitz a whole lot, but you have to find a way to make him uncomfortable and try to throw off the wrong foot. And when he wants to run between the tackles, but behind those big offensive linemen, try to make your presence felt a little bit earlier before he gets up a full head of steam. The offense, without a doubt, you could probably say the same about the Wolverines, but it revolves around their senior quarterback. And when he's doing what he wants to do, it's a difficult team to stop. This could be easily a 17-7 game in Douglas's favor. Wolverine defense stepping up when they needed to. They were also pretty fortunate on a couple of blown coverages. But all that shoulda, coulda, and the fact is, as you say, Jared, Riverton is leading a ranked opponent on the road. Just you get the feeling, though, this one could go either way. Either team has the potential to step up and execute and make a play here or there, whether it be a turnover or a sack on third down or whatever it might be to tilt it in this one. There's a lot of reason to stick around for the second half, that's for sure.
Definitely should be really, really fun. This is the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. Our thanks to the Wyoming Department of Transportation for making it possible. They remind you to always wear your seatbelt no matter how short or long your drive is across Wyoming. Seatbelts save lives. Got to give a shout out here real quick as a hard rock fan to the Douglas High School Marching Band covering Avenged Sevenfold at halftime. I've never seen that, especially at the high school level.
How many people in the crowd knew that cover?
Well, that's what I'm here for, folks. Random hard rock covers. But shout out to Douglas High School. Good atmosphere here. A lot of students on hand. There's also an inflatable football helmet down at the end, kind of like they used to have in Super Bowls in the mid-90s that they run out of. So quite the spectacle. Douglas has built quite the tradition here. Let's take a look at a few unofficial first half scoring numbers. Riverton 214 yards of total offense. On the other side, Douglas unofficially with 109 yards of total offense. For Douglas, Trey Wren, 4 of 8, does have the interception, but also has 48 yards passing through the air. Wren has carried 5 times for 33 yards. Brody Wagner carried 6 times for 28 yards. Cash Tillard has been the favorite receiver so far for Douglas with 2 catches for 19 yards. Both Brody Wagner and Carter Archuleta have 1 reception apiece for the Bearcats. Riverton's Derek DeVries, passing numbers 9 of 15, did have 3 consecutive incompletions in the late stages of the second quarter, so I feel like that skews his numbers a little bit on the hurry-up drive there. did throw the interception, but other than that, a nice night of passing so far for Derek. He's also getting it done on the ground in a big way again. 12 runs, 89 yards, and found the end zone from about a yard out in the first quarter. Blake Gattenbein has carried the football 4 times for 16 yards. We did see a couple other guys get into the mix in the backfield. Ty Sheets had 1 carry, unfortunately lost a yard. And then, how about this? Tyree Harris-Aragon taking a handoff. Unfortunately for Harris-Aragon, he lost a yard, but I'm just impressed that he got in there for a handoff. Receivers for Riverton, Nick McIntosh. It just feels so safe to say that Nick McIntosh is going to have another big night. 5 receptions, 97 yards. Ty Sheets has caught 2 passes, only has 1 yard, though. One of his passes went backwards. Clay Sheets has 1 catch for 7 yards. Blake Gattenbein has 1 catch for 6 yards. So through the air, it's been the DeVries to McIntosh exhibition, and Derek getting it done on the ground again. Scoring-wise in this one, Riverton was up 7-0 at the end of the first quarter thanks to a Derek DeVries 1-yard touchdown run at the 5:49 mark of the first quarter. Riverton found points again late second at 2:47 to play in the second quarter was Hunter Saltzgaver kicking a 22-yard field goal, and then with 46 seconds left in the half, it was a Trey Rinn 16-yard run to give Douglas their first points of the game. The extra point was blocked, and that is where we are at the half. 10-6, Riverton on top of number 5, Douglas. Again, this is the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming Halftime Show. Scott?
A lot to adjust to, but listening to those stats, a couple of things stand out, Jared. Doubling up offensive output, I think a lot of that has to do with the Wolverines' time of possession, those long, sustained drives, and not getting Douglas a whole lot of time to get their offense established. 200-plus offensive yards for the Wolverines in the first half, too. I think you said 109, something like that for Douglas. That's a positive sign. Those receiving stats also stand out. Nick McIntosh having himself very typical for him. I don't want to take it for granted how amazing he is game in and game out like that. But you see the other receiving options, like Sheets with 1 yard, so you might take a peek and see if they're keying in on McIntosh in the second half and trying to bracket him. Might have forgotten about Sheets as a receiving threat down the field, too. So there's a lot open, I think, for the Riverton offense. And defensively, they did well enough. Got to find a way to make Trey Rinn uncomfortable. I think that's where a victory here for the Wolverines in the second half starts. And stopping him, forcing him outside on whether he's running or throwing, frankly, to force him outside the tackles and make him make decisions on his feet, try to force another turnover. All in all, great start. That might be the best half of football all told that we've seen the Wolverines put together. They've had excellent second quarters. We've seen them come out hot and then kind of fizzle out. But to put together on both sides of the ball with some help from the football gods on a couple of those plays, but to see them put together a nice, especially those sustained drives offensively, I think is huge for them. And that's maybe, even though it kind of didn't stand out on the scoreboard, maybe the most solid half of football that the Wolverines have played so far.
Definitely. Let's give a few shout-outs as we welcome those of you watching the streams on County 10's Facebook and County 10's YouTube pages. Got a YouTube shout-out to Houston, Texas. I've already lost the gentleman's name that said hello, but wanted to let us know that he was watching along in Houston. Also, a big shout-out to Desiree on County 10's Facebook page. Desiree Lynn said, "Shout me out." So here's your shout-out, Desiree. And then Greg said, "Shout me out, too." So there you go. Everybody demanding shout-outs now. That's part of the broadcast. You can let us know where you're watching from. Even if it's back in Riverton, we'd love to say hello. Also see Brandon and Becky on the YouTube stream checking in. So hello to everybody. At the half, we always like to make note of our Wyoming Catholic College Student of the Week. Wyoming Catholic College in Lander, making it possible for us to recognize some of the great academic achievements from Riverton high schoolers. And this week, it's senior senior Jacob Castro. Jacob is described as a ball of energy. He's always willing to go above and beyond working in the class. He's been the FCCLA president, is a member of the National Honor Society, and let's just see how bad we can feel about ourselves here, Scott, because Jacob's involved in a whole lot of things. He's in speech and debate, choir, drama. Jacob plays piano. He's quite the gardener, too. He loves gardening. He's already received a scholarship to the University of Wyoming, where he will study plant production and protection. After he gets a degree, he'd like to open his own greenhouse and nursery. Jacob is the son of Gabe and Julie Castro, so shout out to the Castro family. Congratulations, Jacob Castro, our Wyoming Catholic College Student of the Week. You can read all about Jacob and the other Students of the Week around Fremont County at county10.com. Again, at the half, it's Riverton 10, Douglas 6. Let's take one more time out and get you ready for second half action. After this has been the Buckle Up for Life Wyoming halftime show. You are watching Wolverine football on County 10's YouTube and Facebook and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics. Perfect Power is a proud supporter of athletics and student athletes all across Fremont County. Perfect Power provides services for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. Darren Hubble, owner and master electrician, has over 30 years of electrical experience. Darren's trustworthy team of professionals can get the job done right. Perfect Power, serving Fremont County and surrounding areas. Stop into 1320 West Main Street, Lander, or give them a call at 307-332-7184.
Tires, and more tires. Bailey Tire and Auto Service offers a huge selection, great prices, and fantastic service.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Haley. With over 13,000 tires to choose, Bailey has tires for your ATV, farm implement, car, truck, trailer, semi, lawnmower, wheelbarrow, you name it. If it has a tire, Bailey Tire and Auto Service can fix it or replace it. Bailey Tire and Auto Service is your one-stop complete tire and service shop. Just remember, with Bailey's, there's no tricks, just tires.
To win in sports, you have to adapt your strategy as the game changes. The same is true with investments. Hi, I'm John Shade, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I can be your financial coach. Give me a call at 335-7722 today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Every Wolverine football game all season long. Watch on the County 10 YouTube channel or listen on 105.1 Jack FM.
Halftime has concluded after a lengthy, well-done performance from the Douglas High School Marching Band. We are down to the final few seconds here. We may see some extended time because I haven't seen any players actually on the field. But thanks again to Buckle Up for Life Wyoming and the Wyoming Department of Transportation, reminding you to always wear your seatbelt no matter how short or far your trip is in Wyoming. Seatbelts save lives. Again, at the half, it's Riverton 10 and Douglas 6. Got a couple of moments here, so I'm going to hit refresh on my WYO Prep scoreboard and try to give you a few 3A scores of interest from around the state of Wyoming. We promised you we'd keep an eye on the big matchup, the marquee matchup across the state today. It's number 1 Cody versus number 2 Star Valley in Cody. And in the fourth quarter of that game, Star Valley is holding a 35-14 advantage. Scott, I got to eat a little bit of crow here because you said Star Valley, I think, is going to win. Wyatt told me Star Valley is going to win. I said I liked Cody in that matchup, so the two of you are looking a whole lot better than I am at this point.
Neither one of us would have said that score difference, though, either way. And I think I remember saying Star Valley is the better team, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win the game either. So I think you pointed out to me, though, Jared, during the Cody broadcast, the final score of that state championship game last year, and that is what kind of tipped me over the edge. If you're able to slow down a team like Cody, that takes them totally out of their game.
Yes.
Star Valley's, they're both very good teams, but we saw them both, and Star Valley is just too tight, too consistent, I thought. I didn't imagine that score was possible either way, though.
Star Valley won last year's championship over Cody 14-7, and when you think about how ridiculous that Cody offense is with speed and weapons, to hold them to 7 points last year says a whole lot about Star Valley. So holding them to just 14 so far tonight in the fourth quarter will get you a final when that one goes final. In the second quarter, it's number 3 Powell leading Evanston 21-7. At halftime, it's Jackson 9, Green River 0. Also at halftime, Rollins leads Lander at 13-0. You can watch that game on County 10's YouTube channel if you're interested. And Worland is at number 4 Buffalo. That game kicked off at 7 o'clock tonight, so just getting underway. A few other Fremont County scores of interest. Yesterday, we had quite a few Fremont County games, teams in action. Big Piney knocked off Shoshone on a game you saw Wyatt Barijka call on County 10's YouTube channel. Big Piney won that game 26-7. Wind River rolls Grable 49-0, the first shutout of Grable from the Cougars since 2008, YO Prep says. Thought I saw Wyoming Indian picked up a JV game. They did. They went to Cody's JV yesterday and lost 68-6. Wyoming Indian was supposed to play St. Stephen's, but St. Stephen's with the forfeit forced Wyoming Indian to go play a good Cody junior varsity squad. There will be football tomorrow with Fremont County interest, as well as DuBois takes on Casper Christian. And for the third day in a row, we'll have football for you on our County 10 YouTube channel, as we'll be able to bring that to you, Wyatt Barijka and myself, from Natrona County High School tomorrow. That is a noon kickoff if you're interested. And even if you don't have rooting interest for DuBois or Casper Christian, I'd say tune in just to watch the fun of six-man football.
Yes, indeed. So did you decide, are you going to drive back home halfway and get to Casper and stay for that game tomorrow?
I am going to spend the night in Casper.
All right.
It's 4 hours of extra driving that, frankly, I don't want to do.
I don't blame you. I would love to join you. It is my and my wife's 11th anniversary today. She is not watching. I can almost guarantee it, but
congratulations to Nicole. I'm going to give Nicole a shout out anyway, because she's dealt with Scott for 11 plus years.
And the fact that I'm with you on our anniversary and not with her. But we're going to go explore Wyoming tomorrow and enjoy ourselves. But that, I said, sorry, I got the Riverton game very sheepishly on Friday, but I was not about to ask for a second broadcast in the weekend.
Understand completely. Happy anniversary to you and Nicole. I was at the wedding too 11 years ago, so I think it's fitting that we're stuck together on the night of your actual anniversary.
Not sure if that's the word she would use, but here we are.
Wolverines will kick it away to start the second half. They lead 10-6 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. It is Jarrett Jones and Brody Wagner back deep to receive for Douglas. Hunter Saltzgaver has a teed up, and I've been excited for this one all week. Looking forward to a fun second half of action. Wolverines up by 4 in an interesting game so far. Wagner will touch it, and it goes off of his hands. He had to kind of jump for it off of his hands into the end zone, so that's automatically a touchback, and we'll set up first and 10 from the Bearcat 20 to start half number 2.
That was a break for the Bearcats, because I think had he caught that ball clean, he was thinking about bringing it out, and I'm sure his coach would have preferred the outcome that happened, that it just goes into the end zone and start from the 20-yard line.
Bearcats again in their home blue uniforms, blue pants, blue jerseys, red helmets with the blue Bearcat paw on the side. Wolverines in their away whites, trimmed in cardinal red and black with the R logo on the front. Pitch it to Wagner. Fake the pitch, actually. Now Rinn wants to throw. Rinn's under a lot of pressure, and down he goes. He avoided one in the backfield, but another Wolverine defender was there. That's Caden Liebrecht with the sack to open up the second half, and you like to see that if you're Riverton with a little surge of energy defensively.
Yeah, that's what we were saying in the halftime show, to force him outside. Make Rinn do his playmaking outside the tackles, whether he's running or throwing.
Liebrecht has had some big games this year. Pass goes incomplete that time. Pearson was the intended target, never turned his head to look at it, and Rinn throws incomplete, 4 of 9 passing now, and it sets up a 3rd and 15.
Timing route there on the sideline, just to stop, and there was some confusion between the quarterback and receiver there, obviously, on the depth of the route.
Wren in the shotgun, has Archuleta in the backfield with him. Wren rolling to his right. Archuleta blocking in front of him. Wren looking to throw. Has a man. It's caught wide open is Tillard. Cash Tillard right along the Wolverine sideline. Picks up the first down and a couple more. Big completion there.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with allowing Wren to throw on the run. He's a talented athlete. He can throw on the run here and there, but when he makes his mistakes, it's on a play just like we saw. So tighten up the coverage a little bit and keep him rolling out.
Douglas moving faster after the completion. Wren was on the roll to the right this time, surveying the field. Cox applying some pressure defensively, and a late hit as going out of bounds was Wren. Derek DeVries was right there to try to tell his guy not to hit the offensive player when they're going out of bounds that deep.
Was it 65? Ryan Watson. Not to sugarcoat anything, that was not a smart play.
It was a pickup of about 6 before the personal foul. We've seen that from the Wolverines twice tonight.
That's just a free 15 yards in a one-score game against a ranked opponent. He's clearly given himself up. Running out of bounds, full step out of bounds before that contact was made. Accomplishes nothing and costs your team 15 yards.
Riverton, 4 penalties on the night for 50 yards. Bearcats in Wolverine territory after the penalty. They've got it at the Wolverine 47, 1st and 10. They'll give it to Wagner. Wagner's got some space that is quickly filled by Wolverine defenders off the left side, but picks up 4 with that quick effort. I thought Wagner was going to have a lot more, but Wolverine linebackers did a good job of sealing it shut a little bit quicker than I thought they were going to. 2nd down and 6 as Douglas has 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left, and 2 in the backfield. It's Wren going to keep it this time. Wren's got a lot of space. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Wren to the end zone, a 43-yard run, and Douglas has their first lead of the game.
Easier said than done, but we've said all broadcast you have to contact him if it's a planned run between the tackles on that 1st, 2nd, or 3rd step and force him to adjust. He is just too quick when he is moving the way he wants to move. Very difficult to get into the backfield with a quarterback that speedy, respecting all his abilities, but once he gets downhill between the tackles, that is going to happen more often than not. Also, the costly personal foul penalty from a mental error there on the Wolverines. Not the way you want to start the second half.
Douglas Fire Department and EMS lighten up their vehicles in the end zone. Bearcats have the lead. PAT was good that time. Did see Ty Sheets off the corner almost get near it that time, but was good after the blocked PAT we saw last time. And a minute and a half gone by in the second half. Douglas has a lot of momentum now and the lead, as we'll see what Riverton can do with the football offensively for the first time this quarter.
See if they can establish something on the kickoff return here first and foremost. They've done a pretty good job of finding those 2 returners back there, Sheets and McIntosh, some space on the kick return and make the field a little bit shorter. But you need 2 first downs to start with. Just get those first 2 first downs of the drive and see what happens next. You don't want this, sorry, Jared, you don't want this to be a big momentum shift in the game where Douglas starts to run away with things here.
Thanks to Tyler Watson, State Farm, proud Wolverine athletic supporter at State Farm. They're ready to protect your future. Call today, 856-4118, 856-4118. Also, while we've got the chance, thank our friends at Sutherland's. They've got what you need for every project. Stop by Sutherland's, North Federal in Riverton. Good luck to all Fremont County athletes. I know my wife sends me to Sutherland's regularly, so I'll probably be there again this weekend. Trey Wren will put it on the tee for Riverton. Nick McIntosh and Ty Sheets back deep to receive. So, minute and a half gone by, and a different feel to this game in the second half with Douglas holding their first lead now 13-10.
That was their first decisive offensive moment, I think, of this whole game so far for Douglas. Very important Riverton answer it here if they can.
Wren will kick it to McIntosh, who fields it inside of the 10. McIntosh cuts it across the field. He's got some space across the 35, across the 40, and is finally knocked out of bounds. McIntosh will start the Wolverine offense at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for. Yet either of those two deep returners, I was frankly surprised, Jared, they kicked it deep. Given that outcome in the first half, they gave up a very similar return, almost to the identical location on the field in the first half, but they did. They kicked it to some of the two best open field ball carriers that the Wolverines have, and the Wolverines take advantage of it. It'll be a 60.5-yard field in front of them for their first drive of the second half. That'd be 59.5 yards there, Jared.
DeVries went 9 of 15 in the first half, 111 yards, did throw a pick. Also ran it 12 times for 89 yards. Had a touchdown on the ground. DeVries in the shotgun, trips to the left, two receivers to the right side, empty backfield. DeVries fades to throw, well protected, now scrambles a bit under some pressure. He'll tuck it and go. DeVries across the 50, across the 45, cuts it across the field. He's got some more space. DeVries to the 30 and finally steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Big pickup, Derek DeVries.
He was looking deep for McIntosh the whole way and spreading the defense there to the near side. It looked like it might be there. Got to give credit to Derek DeVries. The entirety of that run was made with just him confronting the defender at the line of scrimmage and selling that he might throw the ball on the scramble there. Pump fake enough to buy him some open field, and nobody was assigned to Derek DeVries. Everyone's turned around looking at their coverage, and Derek DeVries takes advantage of it for a huge first play of the second half for the Wolverine offense.
34-yard run. It's 1st and 10 at the Bearcat 25. DeVries wants to run again off the left side this time. Flag flies in. DeVries had a nice pickup of 9, but that flag, again, is not in an area that Wolverine fans would like to see it thrown, but we'll check it.
Wolverine offense and defensive lines have done a very good job with both of their counterparts. Douglas is big, and they are known for their blocking schemes. And if this is a hold, that would be a couple that the Wolverines have offended on. Let's see the call. It is. But that's just a product of trying to move your feet as much as you can, and sometimes you get beat. If you get beat to one side or the other, sometimes that arm gets extended. Didn't see who the foul was on, but it negates a good first down run from Derek DeVries, and the Wolverines will back up 10 and try again.
There's a blemish on the Wolverine resume here so far. It's been penalties and costly penalties at different times.
A couple of personal fouls stand out there.
Clock inside at 10 minutes to play, third quarter. Douglas on top now, 13-10 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Almost had a Douglas edge rusher jump. Got back onside. DeVries faked the pitch under some pressure, wants Sheets, but it's too far. DeVries felt the rush that time and throws it incomplete.
Saw the pressure coming pre-snap and looked to the sideline briefly to look for a play. The sideline deciding to stick with it, and that's a difficult throw from DeVries over the linebacker level. He did have his receiver open, but that's a touch throw, especially with pressure from your right rolling to your left on the move there.
2nd down and 20 after the incompletion and the holding penalty. DeVries breaks the huddle. Will send 3 receivers out to the left side. He's got Larson, Saltzgaver, and McIntosh that way. He's got Sheets and I believe Gattenbein out to the right side.
Big blitz.
Blitz is handled nicely for a moment by the Wolverine offensive line. Now DeVries just going to take it and go. He picks up 8 or 9 and gets back near the original line of scrimmage. Almost thought I saw a flag at the end of that, but I don't think it was. Maybe a mouthpiece or something flying around out there.
Douglas is starting to bluff their blitzes. They did bring pressure that time, but pre-snap they showed it from the left side of DeVries, and they ended up bringing the middle linebacker. It makes it difficult to account for who's coming and who's not. The linemen and any running backs that are in pass pro.
Maybe I did see a flag.
And they're discussing something on the far sideline there, right about the original line of scrimmage, about 10 yards downfield.
It's weird. I don't see one on the field. I never saw anything that looked like a flag, but I did think for a moment I saw debris fly in. See if the officials can give us an indication here. It's a personal foul on Douglas. Blow to the head, I think, was how the official explained it, kind of a targeting penalty, and that is big right back the other direction. That's going to put the ball at the 13-yard line and give the Wolverines a first down.
Riverton way behind the sticks, and Douglas just handing him a free first down and half the distance. Got to capitalize on that.
First down and 10 from the Bearcat 13-yard line. Handoff, misdirection. Sheets is going to be smothered in the backfield. Not much doing there. In fact, no gain for Ty Sheets.
Thought maybe he had that outside edge and tried to cut back inside, but easy for me to say up here. Not a negative play. Did a nice job of getting at least back to the line of scrimmage, keeping some second down options open in the playbook here.
8:35, clock ticking in the third quarter. Douglas opened the quarter by scoring a touchdown, ultimately 43-yard Trey Rinn run. Put the Bearcats up 13-10. Riverton trying to march right back and answer.
This is where they like that McIntosh slant. Call it a cross, whatever you want to.
Is that the mix slant?
Yes.
DeVries looking for Gattenbein, who had seemingly a defender draped all over him. It falls incomplete, and it's going to bring up a third down.
See what you dial up here on 3rd and 10. And I don't want to speculate on 4th down just yet. Riverton has had a tendency to work some magic, especially through the air, to their various receiving weapons in this situation where you think they might be in some trouble, and just like that, they're in the end zone. But did some good blocking up front. Give DeVries some time in the pocket here.
Big play for the Wolverines here, it feels like. 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Gattenbein in the backfield with DeVries. DeVries under a lot of pressure, rolling backwards, and now we'll just dump it out of bounds. Closest person in the area looked like the official, but DeVries well out of the pocket. And DeVries has had a great night, but now has gone 6 incompletions in a row, the last 6 passing attempts, and I think the Riverton field goal unit will come on. We'll see Hunter Saltzgaver out there again.
Well, DeVries has been hurried, and it was a nice defensive adjustment by Douglas at halftime to bring a little bit of pressure and then disguise it even a little bit, knowing that Riverton likes to set the look and then call the play from the sideline.
It'll be a 30-yard attempt. McIntosh holds it in the middle of the field. Saltzgaver's kick looks, I thought it looked good. It's off to the left. It's no good. And Saltzgaver's 30-yard kick, for the first time this year, he missed on a field goal. Douglas football with 7:56 remaining and a Bearcat 13-10 lead.
I couldn't even tell you where it missed. It definitely had the distance, and the trajectory from the press box angle that we have here, which is not great, looked pretty good, but that's a missed opportunity off a nice kickoff return and a big run by Derek DeVries down the field. Wolverines set themselves back with some penalties there. Got a helping hand by the Bearcats on a personal foul that turned into a first down, but after that penalty, Wolverines unable to gain 1 yard offensively. And normally a sure-footed kicker missed it somewhere, didn't see where, and gives Douglas the ball back here.
There is a slight breeze off to the left of the uprights there, and don't know if that came into play or not. Rinn fakes the handoff. Rinn trying to evade a couple of Wolverine defenders. Will turn it into a positive gain of 2 or 3, but not a lot doing. there thanks to some nice pursuit from Riverton defenders. Disappointing to see Riverton drive the football so well and cannot come up with points there, but again, positives to take out of that drive. Riverton able to move the football pretty well. Rin out of the shotgun again, 2x2 this set. Throws and has Pearson, who goes to one knee to catch it for a short gain, 3 or 4 on the completion, and it'll bring up third down and short as Douglas wants to have some tempo here.
They definitely do, and they're doing a better job of getting to the line and getting the play in sooner on this drive than the first drive of the second half.
2 receivers to either side again. Cash Tillman was in the slot left. Now he'll come in motion. Brody Wagner lines up in the backfield now as Rin, quarterback, sneaks it basically, just goes right up the middle. He's right near the first down marker.
He might be short, tough to tell.
Picks up about 3 on the carry. It is going to be a first down.
I was pretty worried on that play because with that motion from Douglas, they gave away Riverton in single high man. And if you want to take a shot against that, it's a 50-50 ball. That could have been a big play, but instead Douglas does run it right up the middle for the first down.
Trips to the left, one to the right. That's Pearson to the right, Archuleta in the backfield. Now, again, in motion is Wagner. They'll get it to Archuleta in the flat. Flag flies, and Archuleta will barrel forward for a gain of 6, but let's check the laundry.
Interesting timing and flag thrown location there. I'm not sure what the side judge saw at that point in the play. It might be offensive holding on a receiver for Douglas, but it could be anything coming from the sideline.
Head official looking to Coach Lenhart to see what he wants to do maybe. Looked like a block in the back.
It's a really interesting call to see on that kind of a play. It must have been after the reception, receiver off the ball trying to throw a block against a defender.
Officials will move the football all the way back to the 25-yard line. 6:27 to play, third quarter. Douglas 13, Riverton 10. Douglas football, 1st and 14 after the penalty. 3 receivers to the left side as the pass is complete. A little screen pass, and then a host of Wolverines immediately decks Archuleta. First in there to make the stop was Zarek Prosser, and we'll give him 4 on the Trey Wren completion.
So many times that's all you need. 1 penalty, 1 nice play. And if you make a stop here, get your offense back on the field.
Snap to Rin. Rin looking to his left, wanted Pearson. Here comes some flags, and Clay Sheet's going to be tagged for pass interference.
This will drive you nuts because I don't know what Trey Rin is doing on that drop back. He did almost a relief pitcher baseball throw on his hitch where he seemed to stop mid-motion. That thing was going to be a duck. It was. And then this would be a holding call or a PI on Riverton, bailing out the Douglas offense.
Official says pass interference. 15 yards will be marched off, and that will obviously be a big advantage to Douglas, picking up the first down. Ball will be placed at the 45-yard line of the Bearcats.
It's almost like Rin started to throw and changed his mind on where he wanted to go with it. That was very ill-timed, to say the least, for the Wolverines.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Rin in the shotgun. Wagner in the backfield. Fakes the handoff. Wants to run. Is smothered right at the line of scrimmage. Wolverine defenders all over the place. Ryan Cox again is there. And Caden Liebrick, Talon Toman in there for reinforcements.
Great job by Cox filling the gap there, and that's what you have to do with this quarterback between the tackles on a designed run. Easier said than done, but you got to win the point of attack and make him uncomfortable.
Rin again in the shotgun. Wants to throw. Looking over the middle. He's got Pearson. It's complete. Drug down inside the Riverton 40-yard line, and a first down on a big pickup, Rinn to Pearson.
Wolverines bringing some pressure there. They don't like to do it because they're already single high anyway and run support on most plays. And they brought the house. I think they had 7 guys coming in on that play, and Rinn had just enough time in the pocket to make a nice throw down the field for a first down.
Pick up a 15. Rinn now 11 of 16 as Douglas wants to hurry again to the line of scrimmage. Rinn out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. Looking to his left. Flares it out. Has a completion and a gain of about 5 on first down. Check the receiver. Is that Archuleta over there?
Thanks to a couple of things on this drive, but most recently the defensive pass interference. This is turning into a long, sustained drive with the lead for the Bearcats.
It was Nate Hallquist, actually, with the catch. Second down and 5 from the Riverton 34 as Douglas continues to march on. Handed off to Wagner. Wagner gains 4 on 2nd and 5, so it sets up a 3rd and short.
Still in all, a nice job in this drive especially, but in the second half for the Wolverines on the defensive line, getting just a little bit of penetration into the backfield to throw off those between the tackle running plays.
High formation in the backfield from the Douglas Bearcats. 2 receivers off to the right side. Hallquist at the top of the screen to the left. Pitch it to Wagner. Wagner looking for a crease. He's got just enough. Gain of 2. Talon Tolman again is there, and Ryan Watson, in on a nice defensive play, but all you needed was 2, and all you needed was 1, and Wagner had 2.
Wolverines, at the start of that play, looked like they might be in cover 0. They did drop back to cover 1 after the check of the sideline.
Rinn rolling to his left on first down, looking across the field, throws incomplete, well covered by the Wolverine secondary. Blake Gattenbein specifically on the targeted receiver that time, and it's 2nd down and 10 at the 3:55 mark of the 3rd quarter. Douglas up 13-10 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard, and Douglas also on the move at the Wolverine 28.
It was nice coverage there by Blake. Don't have to be in his hip pocket necessarily. Just be close to him. Force a quarterback on the run to make a more accurate throw.
Rinn out of the shotgun. We'll give it to Wagner. Wagner, a little stutter move there. Didn't get a lot after the move. And a gain of 2. Wagner's 10th carry now for 40 yards on the ground. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Douglas.
Huge drive, but it's deceiving in that Riverton has either given Douglas their breaks or maybe a good play here or there, but the Wolverines have done a great job between the tackles against the run on this drive.
3rd and 8, big play for both teams. 3rd quarter action. Rinn on the run to the right side. Pass was tipped by DeVries. Hung in the air for a second. Falls incomplete. And a 4th and 8. We'll see what the Bearcats opt to do from the 26-yard line.
Yes, we will. Big play call here. Once again, forcing Trey Rinn to throw on the run. That's not his forte. He makes decisions too late, sometimes throws off the incorrect foot for the direction that he's trying to throw the ball. And try to get one more time here on 4th down. Try to get some pressure up the middle here and throw the timing of whatever play Douglas has coming up. Throw it off just a little bit, force a mistake.
Jay Rhodes, I don't think had any hesitation, will go on 4th and 8 from the 26-yard line. Rinn out of the shotgun, 2x2, the set. Archuleta in the backfield with him. Drops to throw, well protected, looking across the field. It's caught and dropped. Big time hit by Ty Sheets, who undercut the receiver Pearson. Had the ball in his possession and dropped it, and that's thanks to the hit from Ty Sheets.
Yeah, you're right. He was going to come down. The receiver was going to come down with that ball, and Ty Sheets, just a little tiny bit out of position on the play, realized that on the comeback on that route, the only thing he could do is try to put his body on the body of the receiver and hope that that ball came free. That would have been a pretty spectacular high school catch. But Sheets doing a nice job to close in. However it gets done, it's a turnover on downs, and the Wolverines really looking for some points on this drive.
Riverton football with 3:08 to play, 3rd quarter. DeVries stands in the shotgun, has Tillman blocking for him up front. Not a lot doing that time. Archuleta is there to make sure DeVries doesn't go anywhere. No gain on the carry from Derek.
At least Derek keeping his feet moving there after the first contact and turning it into a not negative play necessarily. Didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage, but keeps it 2nd and 10. That play could have been 2nd and 12 or worse.
Talked last week with Coach Mark Lenhart about what do you see in Douglas, and the first thing he said was Carter Archuleta is really good, especially defensively from the linebacker position. 2-by-2 the set. DeVries is alone in the backfield. Was for a second. Now is joined by McIntosh. Looked like he was going to throw to McIntosh. Now he'll air it out to Branson Saltzgaver. Saltzgaver spins and tries to get some forward movement after the completion. Picks up 5, does what he can. And good to see DeVries with a completion after a few incomplete passes in a row. Branson's first catch.
That's a really, that's a timing play where you're using your big player as a decoy there and McIntosh in the flat. And the timing of that play could easily have been thrown off, and maybe was a little bit by that really low ground ball snap. We've seen that a couple of times.
3rd and 5 and a timeout before we get the play, it looks like, from Coach Lenhart. 1:53 to play, third quarter. Douglas on top of Riverton 13-10, and it is only the third quarter, but feels like a lot of these situations are big with a lot at stake here in a close game like this. 3rd and 5 coming up for Riverton. Douglas would love to get off the field and put their offense right back out there after they had their drive stall on a 4th down attempt. Riverton would love to get some momentum and move the chains.
Both of these teams have had long, sustained drives, and when you're only going to get the ball 6, 7, 8 times as an offense during the game, every one of these plays is important. You can't go 3 and out and guarantee that you're going to get the ball back inside of 6, 7, 8 minutes of game time. So when both offenses are doing a pretty good job one way or the other of milking the clock on offensive drives, in a close game like this, every play does matter. Not just the third downs, but every play.
Nathan Mills, the Wolverines center, will put his hand on the ball, snap it to DeVries. DeVries wants to run with it, is corralled in the backfield, spins off of defenders, reaches for the sticks. He's going to be just a little bit short. That is not because of lack of effort from Derek DeVries, though. Derek came up a little bit slow and now is kind of hunched over, will walk off the field. Looks ultimately okay, but 4th and half a yard after a gutty effort from Derek.
Yeah, I mean, that should be 4th and 5. The rest was all Derek DeVries, but I don't think enough. Now they're going to send him back out there with a play?
Wolverine football at their own 35. It's 4th and half a yard. Talk about gutsy if they snap this. Riverton may go for it with 1:10 to play, third quarter. DeVries is going to push forward. He is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Second effort, I don't think he got there.
Does look short.
Douglas fans on their feet. I think Derek is going to come up half a yard short, and a gutsy call from Coach Lenhart will ultimately result in a turnover on downs. And Douglas set up in great field position at the Wolverine 35.
That was an odd play in that the left side of the offensive line got through to the second level without a problem, but that's not where Derek was running. Nice job by Douglas of crashing down on Derek DeVries, I guess with him in there, and no really first-string running back option. That's who you key on, and it's a nice stand by the Bearcats.
Trey ran in the shotgun, 2 receivers to either side. Archuleta in the backfield, give it to Carter. Carter off the right side will be drugged down by Ryan Cox and Tyree Harris-Aragon after a gain of 4.
That is obviously a gutsy call in a game, late in conference play with playoff implications, late in the third quarter. But we've seen this Riverton offense run that play against some of the best teams in 3A, and Derek DeVries is good for a yard pretty much every time. So you can't really blame the play call. That's as safe a play on 4th and 1 deep in your own territory as you can make.
Rin under center this time. Give it to Wagner. Wagner's got a lot of space. Almost a shoestring tackle by one of the Wolverine defenders there to prevent him from getting more, but Wagner's got a first down after a gain of about 7 on second down.
waiting on that play for a forced fumble. Talked earlier in the broadcast about how Wagner doesn't take the mesh from the quarterback like you're taught from pretty much fourth grade on. He grabs it with both hands, and that can create ball control problems.
Douglas does not have to snap this before the end of the third quarter. We'll see if they do. They do indeed. Rinn on the final play of the third quarter, rolling out, looking to the end zone. His receiving target had some space. It falls incomplete, but I think Nick McIntosh now will get called with pass interference.
When you look back on this game, you're just going to go back to all those penalties. A couple of defensive pass interferences where you've got Trey Rinn where you want him. You've got him throwing on the run, and you give him a defensive pass interference. We had those 2 late hit calls and personal fouls out of bounds. There's way too many free gimmies against a team like Douglas on the road.
Pass interference will be the call. And we'll switch sides. I thought we had to run one more play with the penalty, but apparently we do not. 7th Wolverine penalty of the ball game so far. Fourth quarter should be very fun. We hope you'll stick around with us for the final 12 minutes of regulation. It's Douglas 13, Riverton 10. Douglas is driving when we come back. You are watching the Wolverines on County 10's YouTube and Facebook page and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
To explore Wyoming's stunning parks at Fremont Motors during the Open Road Sales Event. We're giving away a complimentary Wyoming State Parks pass with every vehicle sold, so you can get out and explore our beautiful state behind the wheel of a brand new vehicle. Plus, all Fremont vehicles come back by Fremont Care, so you'll be covered no matter what the Open Road has in store. Visit Fremont Chevrolet GMC in Riverton, or shop online anytime at FremontMotors.com and start your Wyoming adventure today.
Broadcasting across the Rendezvous City, Riverton football is on 105.1 Jack FM.
Jared Anderson, Scott Fuller with you from Douglas, Wyoming on a crisp but pretty still night. As we're about ready to start the fourth quarter, Douglas on top of Riverton 13-10. Douglas is driving, and especially after the pass interference penalty, in good shape. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, so Douglas could get a first down at the 1. Rinn has a bunch formation, 3 in the backfield. They'll give it to Archuleta with a lot of space off to the right side. Archuleta has his legs taken out from under him by a Wolverine defender on the far side. That may have been Ryan Cox again. I couldn't quite see it that far, but maybe a touchdown-saving tackle and a gain of 7.
For sure was. I was very sure the Bearcats had the edge on that play. If that was Ryan Cox, that was one of his better defensive plays of the season.
2nd down. Motion to the right. Rinn runs around the outside. May be close to the first down marker, down close to the 1-yard line, knocked out of bounds.
No reason in the world for Douglas to throw this ball for the rest of the drive. It's just a matter of how they're going to try and run it in here, I think.
They will say he picks up the first down, so 1st and goal now from the 1, and Carter Archuleta takes it off the right side into the end zone. Touchdown, Douglas Bearcats with 11:23 to play in the fourth quarter. Douglas extends their lead now to 19-10, PAT pending.
Still early enough in the fourth quarter not to write this one off yet, but there have just been too many, some mental mistakes and some forced penalties, but just bottom line, too many penalties against the Wolverine defense especially. Make 2 nice plays and give it back on a pass interference or a personal foul and give a free set of down. Just can't do that against this team, or frankly any team that you're going to play in the first round of the playoffs. We were talking about playoff implications before this broadcast, Jared. That's dependent on a win, maybe 2 more wins in the last 3, but the first of those games here in Douglas is very much in doubt here at the start of the fourth quarter.
Trey Rinn's PAT was good. Douglas has Riverton. They haven't added it to the scoreboard yet. I thought it was good.
So too.
Believe we will go 20-10. We'll wait and see if I'm right there, but scoreboard has 19-10. I think it will eventually be 20-10 at 11:23 to play in the fourth quarter. Boy, like you said, Scott, plenty of time left in this one for some Wolverine scoring. They're going to need a drive right here, though, it would feel like, to get the momentum shifted back in their direction, and to come up with points would be big. Welcome, Devin, watching. He says, let's go Wolverines. Linda weighing in, and Lorraine also says hello, says go Big Red, watching again from Gillette. She says go number 71, so Lorraine specifically cheering on Wolverine center Nathan Mills, who's done a great job tonight.
Tell you what, it's a home scoreboard operator, so I'm going to drop back down to 19 until they adjust theirs.
I really thought I saw arms go up on the upright, but could be wrong. Sheets will pick it up off the turf and run it across the 35-yard line all the way down to the 38. So it doesn't take Ty Sheets long to get some momentum, and Wolverines with pretty good starting field position at their own 38 with 11-16. I'll apologize if I missed something there on the extra point. I did earlier. Had Erica weigh in, said, who blocked the PAT? I'm still trying to figure that out too, Erica.
I think it was Sheets probably coming off the edge, but I did not see it either, and we are still at 19 on the scoreboard, so I'm going to roll with that. Home crowds and coaching staffs are pretty quick to alert a home scoreboard operator of that error, if it is one, so I'm going to go 19-10, and I'll tell you, the Wolverines need to start moving with some urgency. We need big chunks, and we need kind of a up-tempo offense here.
DeVries out of the shotgun, fake the handoff, has all day to throw, wants McIntosh deep, it's complete. Nick drug down to the 25-yard line. We go from the 39-yard line all the way down to the 25. DeVries to McIntosh in one big play.
Every team that the Wolverines have played since about Powell have known that play is a big part of what Riverton likes to do, especially in the second half, and nobody has been able to stop it. Nick McIntosh, when he's in single coverage, is just that difficult to cover.
Try to give you some impressive Nick McIntosh numbers here in a second. DeVries ready for it out of the shotgun, though. DeVries will step up in the pocket under a little bit of pressure. He's got some room. He's got another first down before he's tackled. You heard the oof from Scott, and I think he stuttered on that foot again, but pickup of 11 from Derek on the ground.
I was thinking about that, but I'm also thinking you have a quarterback in the open field who has a middle linebacker who's flat-footed, and he just planted his right foot and gained an extra 10 yards as a result of that. Just a little bit of footwork in that last decision that he made all the difference in that play.
The last reception to McIntosh was 36 yards. Nick has 5 catches for 133, just barely improving his average per game of 123. Impressive numbers all year from Nick. DeVries wanted to run with it again, has a yard off the left side. Much better job by the Douglas defenders. 2nd down and 9 coming up as we close in on 10 minutes, time remaining in the fourth quarter.
So that big play from DeVries to McIntosh takes a little time pressure off of the offense where they don't have to necessarily go into hurry up yet. That is one thing that the Wolverines don't do well. They're not an up-tempo, no-huddle offense because they rely on so many different personnel packages for all the different things they like to accomplish in their very deep playbook. And that does not lend itself to hurry up.
Wolverines will send 2 receivers out to the left side. DeVries scrambling to his left, now throws low and incomplete. Wanted Ty Sheets. Sheets went down low to try to gather it in, was unable to do so. DeVries now 11 of 21 for 152 yards. Does have 1 interception.
Always tough for a right-handed quarterback to throw on his run to the left. I do not like seeing that ball low. If you're going to miss high, give your receiver maybe a chance to catch it, but if there's good coverage there and you have to throw it, don't throw it low. Throw it high where it may go out of the end zone if your receiver can't make a play.
Derek in the shotgun again. Will pitch to Gattenbein. Gattenbein wants to throw. Throws it back to Derek. Derek's got all kinds of room. Derek DeVries to the end zone. Gattenbein on the pitch to DeVries. Touchdown, Wolverines.
People forget. I think, honestly, other teams forget that Blake Gattenbein is a backup quarterback. And when he has the ball, he can throw it. That was a very well-thrown throwback there, too, and Derek DeVries did a nice job of selling it and kind of lurking there before he went out in the flat. And a little bag of tricks there from Coach Lenhart to convert in a tough area inside the red zone.
The Hunter Saltzgaver PAT is good, and with 9:20 to play in the fourth quarter, it's Douglas 19, Riverton 17.
I think it is 19. I think we're sticking with that.
I am still a little confused at the PAT, but obviously scoreboard operator much smarter and on it than I am, and I don't think that last PAT was good. By the way, if you're watching on the stream, feel free to comment, help a couple of bozo broadcasters out, and
really,
let us know what you saw.
We have our hands full anyway, but we're in a nice, cozy press box here in Douglas, and I'm running the camera, which I haven't done probably since, I don't know, a family vacation when we still had camcorders in the early 2000s, so hopefully the camera work is not that distracting, but we are definitely cozy inside here in the press box, but the good news is we're inside, so I'm not going to complain too much, and I'm also not going to complain because this is a football game again. Nice drive there. Big DeVries to McIntosh chunk, and then a little trickery on the backup quarterback to starting quarterback throwback, and all of a sudden it's a 2-point game.
Well executed play all the way around. How about Blake Gattenbein again getting into the mix, delivering the football to DeVries, who sprints to the end zone, and like Scott said, we got a football game again. 19-17 with 9:20 to play. Hunter Saltzgaver has it teed up for Riverton. Will kick a high end over ender that will be fielded at about the 15-yard line. This is Jones. Jones running all the way across the field before he is stuck by Clay Sheets at the 24-yard line. Nice hit by Clay Sheets there, fired up a couple of his teammates.
Yeah, Clay did the cleanup, but the kick cover did a nice job of setting that far side edge, well, near side to you watching on the YouTube and Facebook streams, but far side from a kickoff in the left hash, and that forced the returner to go back into where Clay Sheets was ready to clean him up. Dynamic has changed here, Jared, just in a couple of big plays from the Wolverines. It was a 2-score game, seemed like Douglas might be running away with things, and now we got a 2-point game.
Really fun game to be a part of. Fun that we're in doubt here who's going to win this one in the fourth quarter. Rinn out of the shotgun, going to keep it himself. Rinn's got some space on the left side. He's got a first down, and he's out across the 40-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds by Jackson Larson. But a gain of 16 on first down on the ground from Trey Rinn.
Couldn't see who it was that had Rinn just almost with the tackle there after a couple of yards down the field in that play, but whoever that Wolverine was slowed up Rinn just enough touch earlier in the play.
2 in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. They'll give it to Wagner. Wagner will try left side and pick up a healthy gain of 7 on first down. Brody Wagner now 12 carries for 54 yards.
Don't like seeing Douglas establish things between the tackle like that. That's where their offense starts. Whether it's their running back or their senior quarterback doing the running between the tackles. Try and force things outside and force some mistakes here.
Ball right at midfield, left hash, 2 receivers to either side. Rinn in the backfield, Archuleta off of his left side. They'll give it to Archuleta. Goes up the middle, bowls over a Wolverine tackler, and now stretches it out all the way down to the 36-yard line. Got a Wolverine shaken up on the play. Quite the run from Carter Archuleta with a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he ran over somebody, and I can't tell who's down, but it may very well be the Wolverine who is down at about the 45 right now.
It's Tyree Harris-Aragon coming up slowly. He does get to his own feet, which is great to see, and will walk off.
And that's why they teach you to tackle that way, but also it's sometimes a situation where a play gets up on you as a linebacker a little bit too quick and you can't react and get your body in position well enough to make a tackle, and a running back with a full head of steam can be a problem in that situation. It looked like that's what happened on that play.
Wren snaps or breaks the huddle. Will stand in the shotgun. Wagner with him out there in the backfield. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Give it to Brody Wagner. Wagner will find a opening for a gain of 3 off to the right side. Closes quickly. So Ryan Watson again in there making a play. Ryan Cox on that side too.
Cox doing a great job defensively, having to step in, fill in, next man up for an injury on that D-line. Garcia, I believe, is back home feeling not very well. We certainly wish him and his family the best, but someone else has to fill that void, and Cox has done, the rest of the defensive line, too, really have done a pretty good job all game.
And not to correct you, Aiden Sanchez. The ill Wolverine that didn't make the trip here. Wagner again to the left will have kind of a similar effort, gain of 3 or 4 on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Douglas is moving the football. They've got it at the Wolverine 29, but a 3rd and 3 coming up with 7 minutes to play, 4th quarter. Douglas leads Riverton 19-17 on the Fremont Chevrolet scoreboard. Obviously a big play here. Riverton, not to put a broadcaster's jinx out there, Riverton has done a good job this season with takeaways, and if you're a Riverton fan, you might be rooting for one of those here. 3rd down and 3. Play action. Wren rolling out. Will lob a pass to Pearson, and it sails over his head. Incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down and 3, and an interesting decision for Jay Rhodes in his 18th year coaching Douglas right here.
Sure is. I mean, it's no man's land, though. I think you go for it. To punt, if that goes into the end zone, it's going to be a net, 10-yard punt? If it's a touchback, so no, they're going to end up going for it here. I think this is the play of the game so far for the Wolverine defense, obviously, and you want to throw off timing here. It's probably going to be something quick. If it's a throw, it's going to be a quick hitter, a hitch, or something in the flat. And as the D-line, you have to make a priority to make some penetration, get in the backfield as quick as you can on this play.
4th and 3, Wren in the shotgun. 2 receivers to either side. Man in motion is Tillard. Fake it to Cash. Wren's got a lot of room. He's got the 1st down and more. Wren to the 10-yard line, and Bearcat fans rise to their feet.
You bring that motion to make those defensive ends a little bit too worried about what might be happening outside. It's their job to contain on the outside, near side motion on that play, and it may be just a little bit distracting enough for the offensive line, which is a big offensive line. Douglas known for their blocking in recent years, and that was enough. That was more than enough for a quarterback like Trey Wren. Once he gets going, he's real shifty, as we've seen all night.
10 carries, 62 yards for Trey, and now Douglas going to load up offensively. 3 in the backfield. Wren is going to let the play clock wind all the way down. We're inside of 6 minutes to play in the game. Still just a 2-point game. Archuleta gets the handoff. He's got a lot of space, cuts it back inside, and will be stood up at the 3-yard line. Another big, tough run from Carter Archuleta.
And once again, just like the previous Douglas drive, no reason in the world to throw the ball for the rest of it.
Archuleta's helmet popped off, has kind of the long flowing hair there that'll show off without the helmet, and have to sit out this play. About 5 minutes on that scoreboard now. Wolverines trailing by 2. Douglas has the football at the Wolverine 3-yard line.
And they can get a 1st down, can't they? Before the goal line?
They can.
It still would got a bow up on the inside here. We expect a run of some kind.
Timeout before the snap, asked for by Coach Jay Rhodes and these Douglas Bearcats. So Douglas on the doorstep here, and you don't want to say it would ice the game at this point. Still would make it a 2-possession game, which would be a lot more difficult to overcome for the Wolverines, but still about got 4:46 left to play in this one. Wouldn't go anywhere quite yet. Lots of strange things have happened, and it's been an entertaining, fun ball game to watch. I think if you're a Riverton fan, there's a lot of optimism that you should take from this one.
Well, I'd remind you of Evanston, where in the first half, I think it was in that game, Evanston had a first and goal from the 2. And I think they did score on that drive, but they ended up snapping the ball from the 40 at some point. I think there were 4 consecutive penalties called against Evanston on that drive, and you never know. I've been talking about that running back and how he really takes a handoff in a way that I'm not a fan of, and can be a ball security issue. All kinds of strange things can happen, but to your point, Jared, 2 possessions with 4:46 to go. You got the onside kick team and all that, but it would make things obviously more difficult.
Star Valley has defeated Cody tonight 41-14. It's going to be a new number 1 in 3A football. Second down and 1 from the Wolverine at 3. So like Scott mentioned, Bearcats can get a first down before they would score. Give it to Archuleta. Archuletta's drug from behind. Zarek Prosser is trying his hardest to not let him get anywhere. He does get all the way down to inside of the 1-yard line. Just keeps churning. Carter is so hard to bring down, and it's going to be first and goal from the 1.
That works out perfectly for Douglas. That just drains more time off the clock, and you get a fresh set of 4 downs there, too. You almost rather not score on that play if you're the Bearcats.
Football is at the 1-yard line. 4:23 remaining in the ball game. Clock running, and Douglas in no hurry to break their huddle.
You got to fill the gaps, maybe run blitz and bring the house here. If they want to throw it, fine, but I think everyone in the building knows what's coming now.
Rin under center, 3 in the backfield. He'll give it to Archuleta. Archuleta plows into the end zone. Touchdown, Douglas, with 4:01 remaining. Carter Archuleta had the bulk of the carries on that drive. Now has 42 yards on the ground, and there go the sirens from the Douglas Fire Department again.
I see Douglas go for 2 here to try to make this a 10-point game, I would think. So that'll move the ball back to the 2-yard line. Not an unimportant 2-point conversion here either. It's a 2-possession game regardless. But that 10 points changes the dynamic a little bit if Douglas is able to pop it in here.
Archuleta had a 1-yard run for the last touchdown, 1-yard run again. They will go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game. Rin wants to throw. Rin is being chased by Tillman in the backfield. Still looking to the end zone, and incomplete. Did get the throw off, but it was well covered by McIntosh. He wanted Cash Tillard. It fell incomplete. Good pressure by Talon Tillman in the backfield there. So 2-point conversion comes up empty. It is 25-17 in one of the odder scoring football games, at least in recent memory.
That was a deflating drive. There's no way around it from the Bearcats. Riverton has had their opportunities here in the second half, and really a lot of the misfortune is their own doing on penalties. I think that's going to be something that Coach Lenhart might mention to you if we have a chance to talk to him after the game. Big penalties at big times, too. But the Wolverines are not out of it yet. 4:01 to go. Coach Lenhart still has 2 of his timeouts, I believe. And you need a quick score. You need that big chunk play, which we know this team can do. And you need, presumably, a successful onside kick attempt after that. But first things first, 2 of the Wolverines' best playmakers are back deep to return. And Douglas has been kicking to them all night, and to be honest, I'm really not sure why. Riverton has had excellent starting field position as a result of those 2 return guys.
Going back to that 2-point conversion, why do you do that there? Because this is an 8-point game, right?
25-17, yeah, to make it 10.
Yeah, but 8-point max possession, Wolverines still have the opportunity.
To go for 2, yeah.
So if you go for the 1, then it's a 9-point game. The low kick is fielded by Sheets, and Sheets able to bring it up to about the 28-yard line.
No, you're absolutely right, Jared. I mean, it's a 2-possession game. I think you have to think of it as a coach, but no, it's a 1-possession game. It's an 8-point game. means a touchdown and successful 2-point conversion ties it.
Leaving the door open potentially for something interesting here on this Wolverine drive. An 8-point game, 3:55 to play.
Almost makes you wonder if that scoreboard's still wrong. Something going on here.
Two receivers to either side. DeVries fades to throw. Wants Ty Sheets on the far side of your screen. Sheets hauls it in and has a reception for about 7.
Needs some kind of a tempo from the Wolverines here, no matter what. Even if you get in the end zone and go for the 2, assuming that score is right, get in the end zone and go for 2, you want to assume that you miss it and that you may have to have some extra time to try an onside kick or somehow get the ball back. But Wolverines are not built for an up-tempo offense with, as we mentioned, all the personnel packages and formations that they run.
2nd down and 2. Give them 8 on the Sheets reception. DeVries wants to throw again. Step up in the pocket. Wants McIntosh deep. It's caught by Nick. Nick at the 30 is drugged down at the 25. Big play, DeVries to McIntosh.
You know it's coming. It's easier said than done to defend it, but every time you see that deep ball from DeVries to McIntosh, it's like it's breaking news to the defenses that we play. And all DeVries has to do is look for him in single coverage, whether it's one-on-one against the safety from the slot, or in that case, one-on-one out wide against the corner. He's going to win that battle more often than not, and DeVries is way too accurate to take that for granted.
8-point game, the scoreboard showing now 25-17 with 2:40 to play. Riverton on the move. They've got it at the Douglas 25. DeVries in the shotgun. Derek will take it and fumble the football. It's picked up by Douglas. DeVries had a little bit of room, ran it for 3 yards, lost the football, got hit hard, comes up holding his hand, and a Douglas offensive lineman was right there. It may have been Aiden Underwood. I'm trying to pick up a number either way. It's a big play for the Bearcats.
Well, I'm more concerned, Jared, about his hand than even the turnover in the big picture. That's your quarterback. And I didn't know I couldn't tell if it was his throwing hand or his left hand, but maybe an example there of a senior trying to make a play, maybe one play too many there amongst some traffic, and if you get a helmet right on the ball like that, great running backs will cough up the ball if the situation's right. It's real difficult to fault a guy for trying to make a play. It wasn't a reckless play, it didn't appear to be, but I'm hoping that Derek's hand is okay if it is his throwing hand.
Yeah, definitely. Number 75 for Douglas came up with it. I don't have a 75 on the roster.
Switching balls, though.
I think they're going to say it's Douglas football.
Oh, man. I was waiting for it. I've been waiting for it all day. The way he takes the hand up from the quarterback.
I just missed the signal, I guess. Here comes Derek DeVries again. They're going to say fumble. Wolverines recover it. And, wow, what a big turnover with 2:19 to play now. It's Riverton football at the Bearcat 26. Did not see who came up with it. Didn't even see the signal. But it's Riverton football. I know that much. Flare it out to Sheets. Sheets has a step, and he'll gain 5 on 1st down.
That was not a quick pass from Derek DeVries to the flat that we're used to, and that might be because of his fingers on the laces on the quick snap, or it might be his hand. I'm hoping it's the former. It did get the job done.
What a wild football game we've got here. Inside in 2 minutes, it's an 8-point Douglas advantage. 2 receivers to either side. DeVries in the shotgun, wants to throw. It was through the hands of his intended target, Jackson Larson, and a good job by Cash Tillard defensively.
Larson can make that play, but it's a different story when you know you're about to get hit. You might have heard some footsteps on that play. Also, kind of a difficult play to turn his outside shoulder back to the quarterback to try to make the play. So brings up where are we at, 3rd down?
3rd down and 4. With 1:47 left in the 4th quarter. Wolverines break the huddle. 2 receivers to either side. Gattenbein in the backfield with DeVries. DeVries is going to take it and run with it. He's got a defender all over him that's not going to let him go. And DeVries may have lost a yard on the carry.
Brings up a do-or-die 4th down here. Just about do-or-die for the Riverton Wolverines. 4th down play call coming up with 1:35 to go. Either a blown blocking assignment there or a play that should have been changed.
I think it was Payson Hollingsworth that made a great defensive play for Douglas there. And timeout on the field with 1:35 to play in the game. And a huge 4th down and 4 coming up. Wild game all the way through. Interesting 4th quarter. We're still not 100% sure about the missed extra point. Not 100% sure why Douglas went for the 2-point conversion instead of the 1. That would have made it a 9-point game unless there's something up with the kicking situation possibly. But as it stands right now on the scoreboard here at Douglas High School, 25-17, an 8-point game. And 4th and 4 coming up for Riverton. Needless to say, this is a big play.
Yeah, this is a play that you like to one of your 2 big playmakers. I think you go to a really reliable receiver here. I don't think you're in the range where Derek DeVries can do any kind of design sweep. The screen game has not been there at all for either team, but Wolverines have not been successful with any of their screen attempts. Already tried that throwback to DeVries, which resulted in a touchdown. So this, needless to say, is a big play call late in the game, late in conference play.
Douglas fans making a lot of noise. Derek's got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left after a man goes in motion. DeVries over the middle, sheets off of his hands, incomplete. Wanted tie, pass was a little bit in front of him, goes off of the fingertips, and Douglas holds on 4th down.
Pass had to be in front of him because that safety was undercutting the route. It was still there, but it's such a touch throw where it can't be too far in front of him, but any shorter than that, it might have been picked. And that's a tough way for the drive to end. You force a turnover, change of momentum just that quickly. And 1:36 to go. The Wolverines are down to 1 timeout. We are approaching 1 first down to win the game territory now for the Bearcats.
Bearcats will trot back out on the field. Trey Wren leading his troops. Douglas at their own 20-yard line, right hash mark 3 in the backfield. Safe to assume they'll keep it on the ground, give it to Archuleta. Archuleta swarmed under as soon as he gets the handoff. Couple of Wolverine defenders in there. Talon Toman, one of them again, and Zarek Prosser in on the play. No gain.
Wolverines take their 3rd and final timeout to stop the clock. Minute 30 left to go, barring some kind of crazy turnover, mental mistake by the Bearcats. They're going to want the first down anyway, but even if they didn't get it, they could milk the clock down to practically nothing. And just a tough loss. But as we analyze this one in the Bailey's Tire and Auto post-game show, Jared, I think the story of the game for the Wolverines, unfortunately, is penalties. I think it was just shooting themselves in the foot on a couple of defensive pass interferences. The offensive holdings, you understand a little bit more against a really tough defensive line, but a couple of personal fouls. And it's not the yardage, it's the time and the drives that those defensive penalties occurred on 3rd and longs, just to give a fresh set, free downs to Douglas. And that's not the full story of the game, but I think it's the first thing that gets talked about at practice on Monday.
2nd and 9 with 1:30 and no timeouts for the Wolverines.
What?
Wren fake the handoff, go the other way. Wren's darting around and will ultimately pick up 2.
That's an insane play call. I don't understand that at all, but it doesn't hurt the Bearcats. There's so much that can go wrong there. The quarterback scrambling to his left and carrying the ball. I mean, Wren, he's so quick. He's not used to keeping the ball close to his body. No quarterback really is when they're on the run. That was interesting.
3rd and 7 coming up with 55 seconds to play. Riverton, if they could stop them here, could have at least a punt return, or you'd think Douglas may run a fourth down play and just kind of dance around to see if they can waste some time if there's not enough time to punt it back to the Wolverines, but we'll see what happens. Douglas lets the play clock wind all the way down to 1, uses a timeout. I want to say hello to former Riverton Wolverines state champion Abe Thomas, watching along with us. Abe is now in Utah and an accomplished, very accomplished singer. Thanks for watching, Abe. Appreciate you.
All the alumnus and expatriate Wolverine fans all over the country. Even despite outcomes like this, we saw Evanston that was like this. It appears that Douglas is not going to go the Wolverines' way. Game's not over yet. But it's exciting anyway to have a game in doubt in the 30, or in the, do some math here, 47th minute of a game and have it go the full 4 quarters.
3rd down and 7. And I think Douglas is just going to take a knee here. They are, and
it's inside of 40 at the end of the play.
That will wind the full clock down. Yeah, they wisely ran the clock all the way to 1 on the previous play, and that kneel down will end the game. So the final score of this one, it's the 5th-rated Douglas Bearcats 25, the Riverton Wolverines 17. A lot of wacky things in that ball game, frankly, Scott, and I think ultimately I'm going to walk away with this one feeling kind of like we did against Evanston on that road trip, where it was what if, and Riverton had chances, but I also think you got to feel pretty optimistic if you're the Wolverines. You get a tough Buffalo team coming to Riverton next week, but that game is on your home field, so home field fans and atmosphere can make a difference there. And then you got Whirlwind in 2 weeks, so you win one of them, you're probably in the playoffs. If you could find a way to go 2-0, you still may host a playoff game, but tough one tonight for Riverton, ultimately losing by 8.
Yeah, it really even stings for me somehow a little bit more than the Evanston game, because I think this team had more exploitable things that you could take advantage of. Obviously a very good Douglas team, and they have been for forever, and that streak of the Wolverines last beating the Bearcats in 11 years has now ticked by another year. But the penalties is what I just can't get over. The penalties, the errors that the Wolverines put on themselves on the defensive side of the ball at key times and long drives to extend opportunities for the Bearcats. And you just can't make those kind of mistakes against really good teams and games that you match up well in and think you might be competitive in. That might be the difference.
Unofficially had the Wolverines 7 penalties and 90 yards. Saw 2 personal fouls and 2 more of the 15-yard variety there. And then we saw a couple of timely holding calls and other things. And yeah, I think that's not going to be one that Coach Lenhart and this coaching staff like to see again when they look back at it on film. But you hung in there with a top 5 program, and man, there were some opportunities late in this one. Coming up on the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show, we will chat with the head coach of the Wolverines. Mark Lenhart's going to make his way up here in a little bit. We've got to select the State Farm, Tyler Watson State Farm player of the game, and we've got a few different Wolverine candidates that we'll be proud to hand that out to, and we'll give you some final stats and a final look around some scores of interest from Wyoming High School football. Once again, the final score in this one, it was the Douglas Bearcats 25, the Riverton Wolverines 17. Now let's take a time out. You are watching the Wolverines on County10.com and listening on 105.1 Jack FM.
5 letters. Just think about, what am I doing right now? Smile. Smile? Uh-huh. This is so easy.
Nobody likes to be stopped by the police, but if I'd seen her texting while driving and given her a ticket, it just might have saved her life.
RE/MAX All-Star Realtors are proud to sponsor sports across Fremont County for the 22-23 season. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors was founded in 1991 with the goal of doing real estate in a way that would make our clients' lives as easy and uninterrupted as possible. They've completed many transactions involving residential, commercial, vacant lots, farm and ranch, and investment properties, and can help you with any goal you might have regarding any of these today. RE/MAX All-Star Realtors, 938 West Main Street, Riverton. See them online at remaxriverton.com.
Central Bank and Trust is a local bank that is focused on technology and convenience. We have a simpler online mortgage application process. You can use your computer or mobile device to upload required documents and sign them online. We have a variety of personal and business banking services. Stop in or visit centralbanktrust.com. We live here. We work here.
Goddard Construction is a local contractor dedicated to our community. We're proud to support our student athletes in every sport, on and off the field. We believe in hard work, crafting excellence, and building legacies one project at a time. We bring your vision to life. Visit GoddardConstruction.com to see what we can create for you. Goddard Construction, building Fremont County one project at a time.
Watch the Wolverines on the County 10 YouTube page.
Welcome you into the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show. Again, Riverton falls in heartbreaking fashion tonight, 25-17. Riverton led 10-6 at halftime, and was a very interesting second half in this one. Again, coming up on the Bailey Tire and Auto post-game show, we will chat with the head coach, Mark Lenhart, who's making his way up to the press box now. We've also, we get the opportunity to select our Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game. Real quick, want to give a big thank you, as we always like to do, to Tyler Watson of State Farm. He's a proud Wolverine athletic supporter, proud Riverton alum, and at State Farm, they're ready to protect your future. Give Tyler Watson a call at 856-4118. That's 856-4118. As always, Tyler says, go Big Red. Few different candidates, as there have been all season long, Scott, but I think we have a consensus player of the game.
Kind of a weird game offensively, where on paper the weapons didn't manifest themselves in the stat category, and we did have one perennial, he's going to be present in every Wolverine game, who made plays on both the offense and defensive sides of the ball. The big catches that Nick McIntosh made down the field really kept the Wolverines breathing at times, and it was a pick in the end zone that he made there on an ill-advised throw that killed the drive for Douglas too. So I think Nick McIntosh is the choice here today for the Tyler Watson State Farm Player of the Game.
Yeah, frankly, I felt bad in other games this season that we didn't pick Nick, because I think you and I both knew, okay, Nick's going to be there, Derek's going to be there at times, Ty Sheets is going to be there at times, Talon Toman, I don't think we've given it to yet, but he's been the leader in points. We're kind of deferring away from some of those guys at times, but man, Nick was just a force tonight. It was too difficult not to pick Nick. Not that we're trying to avoid Nick, but 7 catches, 173 yards, and as Scott mentioned, a key interception defensively.
Yeah, 173 yards receiving and an interception. That's tough to argue against, but it was not, at the end of the day, enough to keep the Wolverines in the game. And I think it's a disappointment. You hate to see it, because I was driving by a couple of times this week by the field back in Riverton, and the lights are on. They're practicing late, 8 o'clock at night, and putting the work in, and I'm sure had plenty of film plan heading into this game against Douglas as well. It's a winnable road game, and in the back of your mind, as we mentioned in the broadcast, you're thinking about playoff implications and maybe possibly a home field playoff game for the Wolverines, but all that doesn't matter. All that's hypothetical stuff for guys like you and I to think about, and you got to go out and play and find a way to win. And there was a lot in this game that the Wolverines did well, as they have in every game this year. But there's the penalties and other things, other mistakes they made here and there that was just enough for the Bearcats to take advantage of. And this Douglas team, by historical standards, may be down a little bit, but they're still ranked, and they are still well good enough to take advantage of any openings that you give them.
Not to keep being the moral victory guy, but it feels really good as a Wolverine supporter for a long time, and I hope Wolverine fans listening back home will agree with this. Riverton fans for years have been hoping for a win on the season. You'd hope you'd beat a Lander or a Rollins. You've got a couple. You were in a game with a top 5 team, and you were right there with Evanston a few weeks ago. This team is fun. This team is going in a good direction, and even in losses, at least this Riverton team is competitive. At least they are entertaining to watch. So hopefully some silver linings for Riverton fans to take away. It was a hard-fought effort, but the Wolverines did come up short tonight, 25-17, as we await Coach Lenhart and some comments coming up here. Let's run down a few 3A scores of interest, few games moving on late fourth quarter action from WyoPreps.com. Do have a fourth quarter game between Powell and Evanston. The third-rated Panthers leading Evanston 33-14, and Jackson's on top of Green River in the fourth quarter, 30-6. Halftime was the last score we've seen from number 4 Buffalo and Worland. The Buffalo team shutting out Worland 22-0, and the final score that we gave you earlier tonight was number 2 Star Valley 41, number 1 Cody 14. Still blown away that it was that much differential in the game, but man, the Braves looking good there. And also a final score with Fremont County interest. Rollins shut out Lander tonight 19-0. That basically eliminates Lander from playoff contention. There may be a really strange scenario where there's a tiebreaker, but I think that the team they'd tiebreak with would have the advantage there. So I think, and I'll double check with Wyatt, that Lander is officially eliminated. Rollins picks up a win, first conference win, and we'll have the opportunity now to try to fight back into playoff contention. Riverton, of course, goes back home for the next two. It'll be great to be back at Wolverine Field in front of the home fans, and Buffalo is a team that just beat this Douglas team. Yep. They're looking good again tonight, and if Riverton has a chance next Friday, I'd imagine a big showing of community support would be helpful in that regard.
I think so too. I think even before this game, and this game played out that way in some ways too, where these last 3 games are kind of question marks, because as you heard you talking with Wyatt on the County 10 Sports podcast this week about the tiering in 3A and how when you get down below, the Powells and the Star Valleys and the Codys, things are kind of uncertain, which is kind of new, where you're not sure who you're going to see in a Buffalo or a Worland even, or a Douglas, and the comparing scores don't help a whole lot either. Because nothing seems to make sense. So I think you have to go out game by game and try and play your best football. And a little bit short here tonight, not too far short for the Wolverines. Definitely could have won this game, but definitely I think one that is going to sting a little bit, and one you have to try to get the kids over on by Monday and Tuesday to get refocused on these last 2 home games.
We will hand the microphone to the Wolverine head coach. Mark Lenhart joins us now. And, Coach, thanks so much for coming up. Really appreciate your time again. And, man, a wild game, a fun game to watch through the majority of it, but just a tough result there in the fourth quarter, and I imagine some disappointment from you right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you lose a close game, you feel as though you magnify some of the things I called, some of the things I did, and what could I have done better. And, there were some good ones, and there's some I definitely would take back. But I'm proud of our kids. I'm proud of the way they fought. There definitely was not due to a lack of effort out there tonight. We just didn't execute at times on some basic things. And really the game came down to the red zone, right? Like, they did throw a red zone pick, but we went 1 for 2 down there in terms of, a field goal we make, then we miss a field goal, we drop a touchdown, and in these games, those little things are magnified, and at the end, that's what makes a difference. But you got to give Douglas a lot of credit. They got their run game going in the second half. They're bigger and more physical than we are at the point of attack, and, they found some of our weak links and went at it, but our kids fought, and we made them drive it. We didn't really give up a lot of real big plays. The quarterback got loose a couple times, but we didn't get a lot of pressure, but that was a little bit was the plan. Is this kid, you cannot let him get out and scramble because it's a problem. And so I thought we mushed the rush pretty well at times, but our kids fought and did a good job. I have zero complaints with their effort and what they did, and we're not out of this. We got to see if we can find a way to beat Buffalo next week and see if we can get into a 3-way tie for this conference lead. And but it's tough right now. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't know if I loved our 4th down call there at the end, but it's like, you get tie sheets one-on-one, and the safety kind of cheated over a little bit. And but at the end of the day, I'd take tie against anybody one-on-one, and we just didn't execute it. Yeah, we just didn't execute it. So it's okay. Our guys played really tough. They played hard. Derek had another big game. I thought Ryan Cox, it looked like on defense, did a lot of really good things tonight. And so, I'm proud of the way our guys fought. But like Coach Prime says, we're coming, man. We got a lot of young guys who are out there playing, and we're getting better. And like I just told Cody on the other side, if your kid's in Riverton and they're not playing football, they're missing out, because we're going to continue to get better, and we're going to keep improving, and our best years are ahead of us. I really believe that, and people need to get their kids out for football and embrace the weight room and be a part of this, because it's not only good for them just for football, but it makes them be tough and makes them be a better man. Our kids, regardless of score tonight, they grew as human beings tonight, and they were tough and they fought, and that's what life is like. And there's not a lot of activities out there that can promote that kind of behavior. So people who are listening in Riverton, get your kids playing, get them bought into this, because it's going to be worth being a part of.
Yeah, at all levels and all year. Start them young and work all year. Mm-hmm. Coach, first time that I've noticed this season penalties really being an issue. Not the number of penalties, but the times and drives when they came.
Yeah, we had a couple late hits out of bounds, which guys are trying to play hard. We just got to be smarter, and we made some mistakes at some times that were crucial. One was on the screen, but it was tough, but it wasn't a lot of like pre-snap penalties or nonsense type things, right? Like, we were fairly clean there, but we can't hold. We gotta be smart, and it was a chippy, hard-fought game. I mean, both ways. I think we maybe got away with a few things. They got away with a few things, and it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, I know, we're just coming off of this one, and you will have a lot of time this weekend to maybe go dive into Buffalo, but it doesn't get any easier with Buffalo. Luckily, we get them at home, and hopefully a good home crowd. But what do you know about Buffalo so far?
Oh, Buffalo's really good. I mean, their quarterback is, I think him and Derek are 1A, 1B in our league. He's big. He can run. Physical kids. They got athletes all over the field. This is a senior class they've really liked for a long time. And so the big thing is still with our kids is I think there's the level of hope we can beat these teams. I don't know if there's a level of true belief at times still. It's kind of like, let's see how it goes, and then we come out here and then we have a great first half, and we really outplay them in the first half, and then I felt like we got just wore down a little bit in the second half, but we were down a linebacker tonight, and but Hunter Riemann stepped in, and when Tyree got hurt and did some good things, so that was awesome to see. But it's tough. Hopefully we can find a way to keep getting better, and our guys not hang their head, because they definitely have done a lot of really, really good things.
It's been a lot of fun to watch, and I know I'm watching YouTube County 10 comments right now about people saying, even in a loss, this Wolverine team is so exciting to watch. We're proud of them. They're making progress, and was just talking kind of with Scott the last few years. You're just hoping for a win as a Wolverine fan. Now we're thinking playoffs. We're thinking, man, we were right there with Douglas. A top 5 team.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, like I said, our non-conference schedule was brutal, and the 4A guys can hate me all they want. The top 3 teams in 3A could compete, maybe not with Easton Sheridan, but they could play with anybody else. And we played 3 of the 4 of them, and Evanston's not too shabby either. So I think there's a lot of good that's come out of this, but I got to keep it all in perspective. If you would have told the people in Riverton 1 year ago, and the score was 52-7, and then we were to play them to a 25-17 game at their place, people probably would have laughed at you. So I think that's a big credit to how far or what our kids have done and how hard they've worked. But like I said, I think this is a game where year 3, 4 in the program, we win this because we'll know how to play it a little bit better in these tight games.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to next week, Coach. Appreciate you coming by again.
Thanks, guys, for driving all the way down.
Have a safe trip back. Coach Mark Lenhart coming up as always. Always appreciate his time and his thoughts. And Scott, we're going to close this one up here, but I'm watching these YouTube comments come in and just want to point a couple of them out. You know, Broncos do Broncos React at the end of their games on KOVE. This is Wolverine React. All of a sudden, Andy weighing in saying, tough loss, but this is a new Wolverine program. Great job, coaches and players. Daryl also commented and said, I love the way the Wolverines play, are very competitive this year. So things have changed in Wolverine football. I know Coach Lenhart wants wins. I know all of us do. We felt optimistic that we could see Riverton come here and knock off a top 5 team, and it felt that way all the way up until late fourth quarter. But things are changing being a Wolverine fan, and it's fun to watch.
That doesn't sound like Broncos React, by the way. Those comments are a little bit more sunny. But no, I think you're right. And I think what Coach Lenhart said there in his comments is you have to keep it in perspective, and you have to watch yourself, I think, as a fan, not getting too greedy. And what I've fallen into watching this program from really while living in Wyoming for the first time is seeing on the field what they're capable of, and so that raises your expectations where, yeah, you can go to Douglas and win, and here's how they might be able to do it, and they certainly could have won this game. But to build a program over years, over entire classes of freshmen to seniors, is something that's more of a marathon. It's not a sprint, and we as fans can enjoy the fact that they're in every conference game if they haven't won the conference games that they played so far, and that's great. But you see it in Coach Lenhart, a little bit of a disappointment here because, gosh, should I have called that play on fourth down or second guessing? And that comes from your knowledge that you're good enough to win this game. But if you lose, someone has to lose, then it's easy to get a little bit disappointed. And you do have to keep that big picture kind of historical perspective on where this program has been over the last many years. And in just a couple of games, things are markedly headed in the right direction. And sometimes I have to hit myself over the head and remind myself of that watching this team because they're special now. And if Coach Lenhart can get more young kids in that pipeline and get more kids in Riverton playing football, they're going to be even more special in years to come. Just getting a little greedy as a fan, wanting too much too quick. But definitely a winnable game here tonight, and they played right down to the wire. It was in doubt right up into the last minute.
Definitely well said. Again, Wolverines fall to Douglas tonight, 25-17. They slipped to 2-1 in conference play. I want to give a huge thank you to everybody who tuned in and viewed our game tonight, wherever in the world you were. We had great numbers as far as folks watching along with us. It makes me feel special for sure. If you're watching along, even if you're laughing at me, that's totally fine. Just appreciate you being here, and thanks to everybody for commenting as well. We'll do it all over again next Friday. We get to stay home, that means another opportunity to go watch your Wolverines in your hometown, and be back at Wolverine Field next Friday, 6 o'clock kickoff, 5:30 our coverage on County 10 and Jack FM as Buffalo comes to town, and we'll get 2 in a row to close out the regular season, try to clinch a playoff spot at Wolverine Field. Final score again tonight, it was Douglas 25 and Riverton 17. While I'm throwing out a couple of last minute plugs, don't forget more Fremont County football on County 10's YouTube tomorrow, as Wyatt Barijka and I will have the Du Bois Rams and Casper Christian's Mountaineers. First time ever I've done a Casper Christian Mountaineer game.
Du Bois is a special team this year.
Yeah, they really are. They've got a great story with their head coach who's been battling cancer and has valiantly continued to coach in his last year. Some great playmakers. It's going to be a special one tomorrow, and it's just fun to watch six-man football, too. It gets pretty wild.
No offensive linemen. It's just Throw it out there.
Wyatt at our County 10 Sports podcast said, Wyatt Tremblay, I think, ran for 10 touchdowns, and we'll see some crazy statistics
it's like
tomorrow.
arena ball. It's fun, though.
I'm going to run out of space on my stat sheet, I can already tell. But we'll be on just before noon tomorrow on County 10's YouTube for that one, and back with more Wolverine football next Friday. Thanks to Scott Fuller for coming on this crazy trip and enjoying his anniversary on the road with me, which
That's
I know is how you wanted to spend it.
It's my job. It's my job.
Happy anniversary to you and Nicole, and can't wait to chat with everybody next Friday. Douglas 25, Riverton 17. We'll send you back to 105.1 Jack FM and say good night at county10.com.